We are live. All right, so we're up and going.
Finally.
What's up?
So, welcome to Painkiller already, episode 197.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yes, and more. We gotta figure something out for 200 somehow.
Oh, we're gonna have something good for 200.
Kyle's an idea, man. I don't doubt it.
I figure on my end, you've got video of like some indoor pyrotechnics, some confetti, and maybe 2 strippers wearing masks.
Uh-huh.
But that's just gonna be for the intro of the show. That's all I got.
Yeah, on my end, I will hire clowns. I'll hire clowns for either side of me, and they'll make party jokes and balloons.
You can hire a juggler.
Well, I guess you could. if you wanted to.
There was
hosting a children's party?
Yes, exactly. So at one time I was planning like this huge party, and it wasn't like the party you think. It was going to be like a blowout Easter party, if you can imagine such a thing. But I was like, let's make it the coolest fucking Easter party ever. We'll get one of those giant inflatable things that you climb up the back and then slide down at one of the big inflatable slides. We'll get like a bouncy house, fucking jugglers, like the fire-breathing guy, whatever the fuck he does, dunking booth guy. We'll get the whole thing. And like
this is a party for adults?
Yeah. And this whole like festival that we were going to plan was still only going to cost like $2,000 because you can get all of those things from the same company in a big package. I think we even had some camels to pet.
Wow. Well, if you got a camel, that would make a really good webcam for episode 200.
What if I was sitting on a camel for episode 200, just kind of clip-clopping around the camera, just...
It sounds like more fun than the original Easter and the events that preceded it. It's just my call.
It sounds like you're going to have more fun riding around on a camel than people are watching.
All right.
This goddamn idiot's been riding around for 4 hours.
So, the 2 things I wanted to say. One, we were going to have a guest. We were going to have Boogie on, and we still hope that he shows up, but we've been waiting for over an hour for Boogie to come, and it's not happening, so... Boogie, gosh darn it. Where are you? And the other thing is we have a sponsor, SquareSpace. I think it's the last week in which we're covering SquareSpace, and we have a bunch of cool things to say. First of all, here's the deal. We're running a contest on SquareSpace. So
very important.
Very important.
Pay attention.
There are 2 things you need to know. The offer code is PKA. If you do that, I think it's 10% off making a site. If you tweet your site to @Squarespace and include the hashtag, which is also on the side there, PKA SQSP, like PKA Squarespace, then you can win a free year of hosting on there. So if you'd like to do a site, if you'd like to check it out, we have a coupon code and we have an opportunity to get a free year out of Squarespace, which sounds pretty cool. They make websites and they are the best at what they do. And we had an idea for a site too. Kyle?
Yeah, so
not so much our own idea.
No, not at all. Like all great ideas, we're standing on the on the shoulders of giants, really. JapaneseBugfights.com is for sale. The hosting is you could buy that website. The minimum bid, however, is $4,000. And I mean, let's all get real. There's going to be a hot bidding market for JapaneseBugfights.com. I don't want to get into that game. Okay, I just feel like that's a big waste of money. I think that throwing $4,000 at the thing before you even got started would be a terrible business idea. But I think that we could start our own. Well, initially I was thinking that I'd make my own little one-off bug fight. Order a few bugs, get a terrarium, get a couple cameras in my basement, and film this thing because I think it'd be fun. But then I was thinking, if we got Squarespace involved, what if we made our own not Japanese bug fights? Because the last thing I need is a whole nother debacle. We thought you were Japanese. What the fuck? So we don't necessarily have to do Japanese bug fights. We could just do bug fights. Now, here's what I'm imagining. It's going to be we're going to voice these bugs and make a comedy fight out of it. So instead of it being a serious fight to the death, don't get me wrong, we're going to have a serious fight to the death.
There's going to be some dead bugs involved. Yeah.
Dead bugs will occur. But we'll make it comical. So you'll have the tarantula over here and the praying mantis over here, and it'll be like, you are in very much trouble, my 2-armed friend. And he's just like, then Merca Durka does the, what's my praying mantis say, Merca?
Something racist, probably.
Old South, go Old South with him.
Go Old South?
Mm-hmm.
I'm finna fuck you up, son.
Yeah. So we
I
go
said
back and
finna,
forth.
so I ruined it.
I think we could spend some time and edit the fight together, and like instead of having it be like a 8-minute debacle where there's like stuff where like one bug is scurrying in a corner and one bug is like looking up trying to escape, like edit together the fight and then voice the characters and make our own bug fights that are different every time. So maybe
Even
one
better.
time
We can do another thing where we edit the shit parts together with really intense music, like it's really, really good, but it's just a couple of bugs rolling around. Not much is
that's
happening.
an outtake video. That's a bonus video you got. After every few bug fights, you get and play like da na 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 na, and meanwhile, like it's a centipede just kind of like drinking some water droplets just in the corner trying to survive. No 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 no. Just really boring.
I'm
shit.
psyched. I think we can do a better version of bug fights than bug fights did, and it will
Absolutely.
be in English, which is quite nice.
English.
Yes.
English.
Very good.
And maybe we'll win the free year of hosting from SquareSpace. Get on our level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want to
anyway,
work that out. I want to do that.
check them
And-
out for sure.
But Squarespace would be perfect for this because they've got that feature with the photographs to uploading to the website and everything. Because that's what's going to sell these bug fights. Those close-up, high-res images of like the tarantula's face and like the praying mantis like with his little hook arm like wrapped around the centipede and his like jaws like eating at it and stuff. That's the real show.
We can do tournaments where we have like a toothpick with a flag of a country on it stuck into a certain bug and
Even
battle
better.
tournaments.
How
like,
about
oh,
this?
Japan beat the USA when this mantis beat a spider or something. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. None of this matters.
I've got a great idea. You would have other YouTubers purchase and mail their own bugs to me and voice the character for their bug. So we'd have a tournament. So like if like Harley from Epic Mealtime might have some really really big fucking tarantula and get him to do the voice of the tarantula. That'd be hilarious.
oh, what kind of bug would you be?
Well, me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
I want to watch like 5 episodes before I decide to see what the good ones are.
It'd be funny
You know,
to do a Russian bug, but I don't know if there are any Russian bugs.
You don't even have to win. I don't care which bugs are good. I just want the bug that most closely represents me. Am I a beetle?
Yeah.
Am I a
Yeah,
prey
me too.
mantis? Is there some sort of grappling bug out there that I don't know, flips people upside down a lot or chokes them out? Like I need to do some
Well,
research.
the mantis chokes them out. Well, not so much choke out as decap, but it's the same basic thing.
Yeah, I like the idea of a mantis. Maybe a giant bug. I don't know.
What kind of bug represents you?
Exactly.
So I think we should go. I'll link you guys up, but I think we should go to quickly spend a few minutes doing this. But I think we should go to JapaneseBugFights.com and find the bug that most closely resembles us. Or would
Really, I think you were
represent us.
right earlier, Kyle, when you said standing on the feet of giants instead of the shoulders, because I really didn't do much with this concept. There's a lot more to do. We are merely standing on the big toe of a giant, looking around, saying we can climb to the shoulders and do our own shit.
Good point.
All right, let's see what we got.
I'm looking.
I don't know. So I guess I'm taller than either of you, so I guess maybe a taller bug, maybe.
Am I
Maybe I could-
represented by a bug whose head is actually 2 giant pointy hands, like this guy?
I've also got like a pretty crazy wingspan here. Like maybe I could be a praying mantis.
I like the way you're thinking.
I like how confident Kyle is in his ability to be any bug he wants. Rationalizing it because I'm pretty tall. I could be this one. I got long arms. I could be this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to rationalize and
Right.
make you understand why I get to be the praying mantis.
I have as many fingers and toes as most people. I could be a millipede.
You could.
Very few
I think
have
I want to be
more.
one of these giant
My arms are
Hercules
longer than
beetles
I deserve to
because
be
they
a
look
praying
like they'll
mantis. more.
dominate.
You want to be what, Mirka?
I think it's called like a Hercules beetle, the really big ones with the super hard shells. I think they would do really well in these fights.
They've got that.
I think
they've
you're
definitely
right.
got giant beetles
Yeah, I'm looking
here.
at it right now. But I'm not sure if that's as giant as the other giant insects.
Anyway, I
This
want to
would
put
be
together
really
a
great.
SquareSpace bug fighting website and see how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah, we're gonna fight bugs to the death, and I have some great ideas, I think, for how to make it work. I like the idea of like Woody having his bug, like that being Woody's bug in the fight, and like that being Taylor's bug in the fight, and that being like, you know, Chiz's bug or whatever. I think that would be fun, and I think it would be fun if they in turn voiced those characters to the best of their ability, and we came up with a little comedy bit for it, and made like 3-minute videos of bugs fighting to the death and put it on the internet.
I would be totally down for it. We could put it on the internet, and we could even use it to pimp the website that we put together.
Yeah.
Well, we would need.
The more we talk about
the
this,
more
the
they-
better an idea it sounds.
I think they should be hosted on the website.
Yeah, it could be the PKA website that we've already started. Could have a bug fight section.
That's what we're talking about. I like it.
Yeah. What could we call the website?
Oh, I
We
think
could call it
already have it. I
Japanese
think it's
bug
called
fighting.
PKA Online or something.
We could probably get a redirect though for like you know.
It's PKA Online. We could make more websites and stuff, but I think we already have a website that it
We
could
can
go
make
under.
as many as we want through SquareSpace. That's what's so great. As many as we want.
I think they'd hook us up.
SquareSpace really is good. I think if we do this Japanese bug fighting thing, or it's not going to be let's drop the Japanese now.
Yes, there's going to be all kinds of racist accents on this.
Yeah,
It's gonna-
not just the Japanese. There's going to
Yes.
be. That's going to be German bugs! Ah! And they're gonna-
We're gonna have Jewish bugs, Japanese bugs, Italian bugs, English bugs, American bugs, Southern bugs, redneck bugs, surfer bugs. There's all kinds
Mexican
of bugs.
bugs.
Mexican bugs for sure. I'd love for him to like begin his life in a jumping beam.
What if we had a scenario where like we had Mexican bugs represented by fire ants, like coming over like a sugar cube border, and we had like some we had like some American beetles like protecting it, like fighting them off.
I feel like if
put
we
another.
put
Like, what if we threw like a Japanese beetle, like a Hercules beetle, against like a garter snake and see what happens?
Ooh.
I'm gonna wager on the snake.
So here's
there.
the thing, like I think when we start getting actual like reptiles and mammals involved, it becomes cruel. I think we definitely need to stick to arachnids and insects because there aren't any protection agencies for them for the most part, though. I mean, you know.
Dude, this is a slow, slippery slope. How do you think Michael Vick started?
Yeah,
Bug fighting in his backyard. Eventually, we're gonna get there,
just
and
set
then
a
it'll
feed
get
in
shut
there,
down. And then we have to make a
Right.
brand new website with SquareSpace.
Then we put a snake in there. Then we put it like, well, obviously snakes beat rabbits, but how do snakes do against, say, small dogs?
Yeah, and then eventually
Not
we're just
well.
like, how
Not
many
well at all.
small dogs could Hope take? Huh? And then we'd have to wager that and see
Yeah.
how she did.
And
Turns
before
out bigger
long,
than I thought.
Nope, I knew she couldn't handle 8. Glad I bet on against her.
Glad I took the under on that one.
Kyle, I have it on good authority that you have the capability to put
I hate
desk
when you-
pops over there.
Oh shit! Where's my desktop gun at?
No, that's not the one. That's not the right.
Not this. This one's not loaded. Hang on, I've got one.
He grabs a fucking Glock. That's not it. That's not it. We have a gun just for desk pops. But if you don't know, Taylor, the notion is that Kyle can do a desk pop every topic change.
Oh, well, that's
Yes.
safe.
It's yeah. I mean, it should be safe. If he
Is
can
he in his
find
basement?
I think he is. I think the way that Kyle used to be on. Am I giving away too much information? He used to be on the main floor, and then he moved to the basement because I don't know. They like to have their own space.
God damn it! Show's an hour late and you don't have the gun.
So
But in all
this is-
seriousness, yeah, that bug fighting thing seems like it could be really funny and
I
easy,
agree.
which is most important.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what SquareSpace typically does for DDoS protection, but I'm guessing that if I'm involved, we'll test it.
Yep, they'll come up with a solution pretty quick.
I don't mean to brag, but I'm kind of a world leader at getting DDoSed. and we will quickly find out what happens.
So he just has one gun there laying there for show. For those of you just listening, he's got an M4, it would appear. It's only a tiny little thumbnail pic. But just laying on his couch.
Oh,
and then,
that's... He told me about that. Oh, I'm gonna totally screw this up, which is tough because gun people love to point out mistakes. But I think it's a 458. Does that sound like a caliber? It's not a common one, and it looks like an M4 variant or AR-15, which is like, I don't know. I can't tell from
Looks
here.
like a gun you'd use in Call of Duty.
Yes, I like it. I like the steel barrel and the big scope on it and stuff. I have a neat gun coming my way. It's a 50 cal. I'm kind of excited about it.
Oh, I didn't know that. It does not look big enough. But then again, I guess you can do whatever you want in Georgia.
Wait, no, that one's a 458. Mine's coming as a 50
Oh,
cal.
I thought you just said that one was a 50 cal. Sorry.
No, yeah, he already has a 50 cal. Really nice one. But, man, I needed Kyle for my next topic. He's taking a while to get his gun for the desk. Oh, did you please tell me you found it? Did you find it?
No.
Oh.
No clue. No clue where it went.
What? Is she on the task?
It was down. It was here. I don't know what I did with it. I lost it.
Well, you have another one. Just use a different gun.
She got me this cap gun. That's what he's talking about. Just so everyone knows I didn't lose a real fucking gun. But I don't know what I did with it. It's like a silly pink cowgirl cap gun, but it's really loud.
God, we could have had desk pops. This time it's not even Kitty's fault. She enabled you desk pop capability.
I don't think that really counts. I think it's pretty stupid.
I think it totally counts, and it would have been awesome.
This is stupid now that I don't have the thing I wanted to do. Like,
I'm so
where it
bummed.
is.
Do you want to go to our next topic?
Uh-huh.
I wanted to talk about Wings' video today.
Mm.
Or we
once
can
again,
talk
didn't
about
watch it.
9/11. Either one is good.
they both. Yeah, let's start with Wings.
Okay.
You know.
So Wings uploaded a video today. He said that he's been eating everything in sight for the last 3 days. He thinks he weighs over 415, which would be his highest weigh-in that I know of.
Damn it.
He says he wants to stop weighing in because he prefers it when he doesn't weigh in. He prefers, instead of weighing on the scale, he said he was happier when you're out. I'm going to put myself on the main screen. What he used to do is he just kind of fluffed his shirt like this to show how much smaller he got.
Oh, look at this. Look at all this right here. All this space in here. See this? Losing weight.
Yes,
Didn't
and he
you do
wants
like
to go
that?
back to that measurement system instead of like a scale because it made him feel better. And I'm just trying to remember. Like, I remember when he gained the weight, but he didn't weigh in. He just weighed in like off camera because he does midweek weigh-ins. Okay, let me back up. Wings weighs in every week. I think it's supposed to be Thursdays or Wednesdays. And but that's not the only time he weighs himself like privately. He weighs himself privately all the time. And the first week he lost 3 pounds, and then I think that he might have lost 3 pounds again, and then he gained all of it back. He said that he wasn't even cheating that much. I mean, sure, a few extra plates of food, but that's it. And to me, it was like jaw dropping. It's like, really, like I'm trying to lose
6
weight
pounds in
too.
a week.
I'm trying to lose weight too. I'm down 13 pounds so far, which makes me 7 away from my goal. And 6 pounds in a week he gained back. And the notion
How
of having
can you
like
even do that?
extra plates of dinner, like 2 dinners for dinner, is like, and he considered that like moderate cheating, like not even that big a deal. Why would I even gain weight if I'm just having a couple plates of dinner? It's like you are. But for the last 3 days, he's been eating everything he sees nonstop. And he thinks he's up to
that
415 compared to his 412 starting weight, that we know of. And he's just kind of completely fallen off the wagon. He also skipped his walk yesterday, but he walked today, so he's back at that. I don't know what to say about this, right? Like it's
I'm gonna lose every bet that we made last episode or PKN or whatever about that.
How's in the money?
No, I think it. So I won if I have it right, I won the first one, and then the second one, since we didn't pay, became like a double or nothing situation, and it's nothing because I'm totally lost it.
Making it rain.
So I bet 4 wings, and he came through the first week and not the second.
All it took was that $25 gift card for Zaxby's,
Right.
and he completely fell apart. I called it like that.
You
like
think you made that happen?
Yeah, I made that happen.
You're terrible.
I didn't do that. I did not. That would have been awful. I was considering it. There's a lot of things that I've considered doing to wings, just as pranks and practical jokes. And I'm not gonna give them away here, but like
I know they're great.
Like there's stuff in the. One of these days, I'm gonna have some free time, and like somebody's gonna be willing to split the gas money, and we're gonna get up some hijinks.
I have to look and see if he's even remotely on the way to your house. If
He's not. I've already looked at it. He's
right, that's right. He's just
not. Like
totally...
he's like a 4-hour fucking detour. That's Myrtle Beach, man. That's a 6-hour haul. Like we were talking about it the other day. I was like, we could leave early in the morning. Like I'll drive there. I was talking to a girl. I was like, you drive back. I was like, but it's like $200 worth of like material and gasoline and.
South Carolina is right between North Carolina and Georgia, right? But it turns out that a round trip to Wing's house is not that much different than the delay of going through his house to Kyle's. Like, it's totally out of the way. And we just haven't done it yet. But, yeah, we've got some great prank ideas. Fantastic prank ideas. But they're not hurtful, destructive pranks. Like, he wouldn't see them.
No.
They would help his videos, if anything.
Just stuff that I think needs to be interjected into his videos. Just like, I used to interject stuff into the FPS bootcamp videos. I like coming up with silly things to throw into videos and fun things to do in videos that are just fun to see.
Like, in case Wings is watching this, if you were to see the prank ideas that we have, you would like them too. You wouldn't feel picked on. Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, let's do that. You'd want to fake it, but I want it to be a real prank, and you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
great.
Exactly. So
I wish I knew what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'll type it to you.
I can do it if you want.
I think we should be able to change the bet, because originally I was saying that if he maintains his, public weigh-ins, that he'll trend downward. But since he's no longer doing that, I guess I have to bet against him, because if he's not public weighing in, then what's keeping him honest with everybody?
Nothing at all. He's like an alcoholic, I guess you could say, and he's fallen off the wagon.
Yes, exactly.
Man, it sucks.
He's fallen off the wagon, and I
just don't understand. 6 pounds in a week. He has to be mistaken. He couldn't have gained all of it back.
Well, I don't know. See, the thing is this: Wings can, as a big guy, I feel like his water weight fluctuates more than a normal person's, right? You know how you probably change your weight maybe 3 to 4 pounds on the daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Wings, that number could easily be 6, right? He's twice the size of you. It could be 8 pounds, daily, just in like different fluid and poo and whatever. So
how many different kinds of fluid are coming out of Wings?
He cries. He's got pee. He's got poo. And sweat. I think that'll cover most of it. And then the other thing is, don't forget,
really hard for weigh-in.
He's taking X-Lax for his weigh-ins, right? So all he really needs to do is like not be on X-Lax, and that could be a few pounds too.
Man, I've never taken a laxative, but I'm under the impression that they are not good for you to just be willy-nilly taking. That can't be good for you. I've
never done what he's doing. I had a colonoscopy once, and that was a medical grade super laxative. That's just a terrible experience. But I don't even know what X-Lax does to you. Is it like that? Because I wouldn't do that willingly. I wouldn't do that at all.
You got to have your next full day planned out before you take it.
Dude,
no surprises.
Like all night.
He talks about his poop so much. Did you hear him tell his childhood poop story the other day?
Probably. I probably heard him.
So here's the gist. This is classic Wings. This is a classic Wings story. I love these. This is why I watch his videos. So his videos are great. We talk about him a lot, and it's because we watch his videos and we're fans. I really enjoy Wings' videos. And here's why. Here's a story he recently told. He said that as a child, he didn't like the place that they were living very much, and there wasn't a light in the hallway. And I think he said that scared him or something like that. And so he didn't want to go to the bathroom at night. And so he went a really long, a period of days without pooping. I don't know why he didn't poop in the daytime. I don't know why he didn't poop the same time. Like he took a shower, poop and then shower. I don't know why he didn't poop at school. But he went days without pooping. and he got extremely constipated as a child, and he had to go to like the ER, I believe, or at least to a medical doctor, and they had to, sort
His
him out.
grandma just didn't loosen him up real quick? Nothing?
He was too tight then. That was before she loosened him up in
Jesus.
his teen years.
Wow.
I made that part up myself. But he had to go seek medical attention, and I believe that was the beginning of his like fun with laxatives. And ever since, it seems like he's been really in tune with his pooping, and like that man knows more about his butthole than most.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Like
My proctologist doesn't know that much about his own asshole and bowel movements. Like this guy, like he can tell you some stuff, man. He's got more butthole stories than a fucking porn star.
It feels as if pooping occupies a very large portion of this man's life, right? Like pooping is just something I like take care of a couple minutes.
I imagine
typically
him
every
pooping on a
morning.
giant scale, the kind that like like a balance beam, and he's like 14 Keurigs, new record.
But it just seems like he's always involved with like X-Lax or some sort of diuretic or constipation, and he shares it. Dude, let me tell you this story.
Enemas too, right?
At the enemas, yeah. At this point, I had known Wings of Redemption for like 3 days or something, right? Like I don't think we had even done our first dual com yet. I was just kind of like reaching out to him, like, hey, you said you wanted to do dual coms with fans. Would you like to do one with me? Here's my channel. This is my background, etc. And like this might have been, you know, my first dual com. It's the one where I gave the tip about that spot and on that cloudy, rainy, stupid map I'm on for 2. Anyway,
Underpass, overpass, something like that.
yeah, thank you. So right before that dual com, he's asking me, Woody, I got a shit. How can you make that happen? Like, what are we gonna do about this? And I'm thinking, I don't even know this man. Like, I don't know the first thing about Wings of Redemption. Like, I watched a couple of his videos, but you meet him in person, and he's asking me for pooping advice. And I'm like being polite about it. I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, I like Life Cereal kind of does the trick for me. He's like, no, I need industrial grade stuff. And I was just like, what is happening with this man's bowels? And why is he sharing it with me? People could know me for years and not even know that I poop. It's just something you'd have to assume. You've probably never seen me do it.
Yeah, I poop in the morning as soon as I wake up, before I shower, and not again until the next day. I have a schedule because I have a regular eating schedule as well. Every morning I poop. Like there's no like. There was that, and remember I told the story about when I shat all over that bathroom, and I explained in that story the reason that happened is because I was staying with a girl, and her toilet was like right next to the shower. It was like shower, toilet, door. It was a really small bathroom in her apartment, and I didn't feel like I could poop there without maybe sneaking up the bedroom. So I was like, well, maybe I'll be fine. I can make it home. I really don't have to go.
Bad mistake.
No.
It's such a conundrum, though. You did what you had to do. You can't just risk a super awful shit right next to the bedroom.
Yeah, so now I keep a small set of screwdrivers with me so I can dismantle the floor of the shower and take like a crazy squat caveman shit that'll just immediately be washed down. No smell.
Oh, for that. I thought you were talking about like the Wings technique with the needle nose pliers where you kind of just get in there and fish it out.
Oh, yeah. No, you want to...
A bit of a twirl, like you're...
You need the screwdrivers because if you don't use then you got to like use your foot to like help it down and push it through the grating of the shaft. Yeah, that's no good.
On the topic of Wings, is anyone else really bummed out that he's kind of... I don't want to speak for him, but to me it feels like he gave up on the weight loss thing. When he's decided to stop weighing himself because it makes him happy or not to weigh himself and just like flush his...
He hasn't given up in... So here's his... I promise you, this is what's going on in his head. He has not given up on it. What he's giving up on is the high-pressure environment in which the fans are making him exist. That's what he thinks. He thinks that he in his mind, he's still trying to do the weight loss and fitness, etc., but he's no longer going to put it under the microscope of YouTube. He's saying, look, I'm going to do this walking thing. I'm going to do the best I can in the meantime, but this weigh-in thing where you guys get to, like, see my failures, pound for pound, that's over. That's how I read his video. And he's got a lot of big things that he's facing. he talked about maybe going back to school to become a paramedic, which that's the first I've heard of that. But he's really got to get in shape if he's going to do that. He's got to drop 75 pounds, which is very easy to do, and
I don't 75 pounds. So if he's
More than
415 now, that would put him at 335. I think that's too big.
Yeah. If he got down to like 250.
Yeah, I guess I was being too
Paramedics
too
have to do a
kind.
ton of stuff.
Yeah, I don't want somebody who's 330 coming to save my life, frankly.
Exactly.
Like if your job is to be a rescue 911 motherfucker, like you're a modern day superhero driving your ambulance in and pulling people out of burning cars and patching people back together to keep them alive till they get to a real doctor, then you should be physically fit. Like you shouldn't be out of breath when we get back to the ambulance so you can get my IV in. Like
Yeah.
Can Wings haul me up and throw me on a stretcher, get me in an ambulance with his buddy, and then get an IV in? Not right now. I doubt I could. I mean, I feel like you got to be in good shape.
No, you could.
I know a girl who's going through it's a similar kind of training. It's like fire, rescue, EMT, something else training, and it's pretty physically demanding.
The other option is really interesting. So Wings is trying to make a choice. He has two paths that he sees himself going down. One, take a loan, get an education, become a paramedic. And for people that don't know, I Googled it. The average paramedic salary in the U.S. is $14 an hour. So that's what it is, about 28 grand a year. And then the other job pays $11 an hour, and it is what sounded to me like a not a very great job. You take a valve, you screw it on something, and you turn the water on to the valve. If the water stops it, you put it in one pile. If the
valve stops the water.
I'm sorry, thank you. If the valve stops the water, you put it in the good pile. If the valve doesn't stop the water, you put it in the bad pile. And that's it. Like quality assurance, do that. I think that the shift was 3 to 11, like an 8-hour shift. 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Just testing faucets?
Pretty much testing faucets. If you don't know what a valve is, it's a picture a pipe with a flat circle inside. And, it's closed and open, right? You just kind of do that. I don't know if you're doing a very good job. So and he will just test to see how watertight a closed valve is for 8 hours a day, so many days a week at $11 an hour.
You got to be fast in jobs like that. Like you fall behind and like people notice because there's other guys on this side and there's other guys on that side. My cousin had to work a series of jobs like that, like probably 3 or 4. There was a job where he load tested shocks. So he'd take the shock from a car, he'd put it in this machine, the machine would compress it and then release it, and he did a similar thing, good pile, bad pile. And he talked about how if you're not hustling, he did another thing where they were water pressure testing some sort of fuel tank. Mm-hmm. And he talked about how if you're slow, then there's people yelling at you like that's because you're messing up their times. It's these people are trying to look good for the boss. They want a promotion. They want $15 an hour. And if you're slowing them down, then you're costing them money. And you might have a guy next to you who's ready to kick your ass. He won't flourish in that environment.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to not have confidence in Wings, but I feel like Wings would be slow, and he wouldn't give a fuck that you wanted to be fast.
And look, it's not about Wings not being it is a bit that he's not physically fit, but I'm saying my cousin was physically fit. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he's a strong guy. And this job would wear him out. Every day he'd be done and he'd just be exhausted because he's just hustling, just going so fast, trying to keep up. Now Wings sounds like one with a valve where it's really just arm movements, but still,
yeah, I picture Wings not
on the
responding well to a pressuring boss. He would give a fuck you, to an authority figure. On the other hand,
this all seems like a shit route to take when all it would take to just get his channel booming, well, relatively booming, is if he's stuck with a diet and 3 months from now he's lost a bunch of weight. Another person puts it up on Reddit or something, and then a bunch of people flood back and are like, wow, this guy's doing it, and it gives him a resurgence. That's all he has to do is just stick with the diet, keep weighing, and be successful at that, and people are going to watch that.
It feels so easy from the outside.
They don't want to watch around the starting mark. They want to watch somebody succeed slowly, even if there are little bits of fallback. So I think people are going to be more mad at him saying, I'm not weighing myself anymore, as opposed to just saying, yeah, I fucked up. I ate everything in sight for however many days, and I'm back up to my normal weight.
I don't understand this eating everything in sight, because I have days where I eat a lot of, like, I'll have like a crazy meal, like it, and then I'll have like some crazy dessert, but I don't gain pounds. Like I literally the other night ate like half a blooming. I went to Outback Steakhouse. I ate like half a blooming onion and
though.
like, huh?
Yeah.
Like not
But it's because you don't do that all the time.
You've gained weight and lost it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I
guess
if
so.
you do that, you'll put on weight like any normal person. Me, I'm eating right now.
But I'm talking about like the massive gain in a small period of time, like 6
right.
pounds in a week.
Well, that's got to be
like
water,
I would
right?
notice that.
So for me, I know a lot of people don't care about it. I lost 10 right away, and then I went on the trip, and I was only down 7, and now I've started just eating right. I'm not doing the juicing anymore. I'm just sort of eating right and exercising. I'm down 13 at the moment. And for Wings to say that he can't, like, he's actually gaining weight while he's trying to lose it, I don't understand. Like, just stop, like, eating extra plates or everything in sight for days and days and days. I get it. He's like, you guys don't see the hunger pains. Like, you don't see the hunger pains. You're the one, doubling up on meals and stuff. Just freaking put your mind to it, and lots of great things happen. As for whether he shouldn't be a paramedic, one, he's too heavy for that job. He just won't get that job. No one's going to hire a 400-pound paramedic. Get it out of your head. Even if you pass the course, you can't be a 400-pound paramedic. Put that paramedic dream of yours as a goal or a reward for achieving the weight loss dream. Don't think you can do the paramedic route without doing the weight loss route. They go together. You could do the other job and see how long you hold it. Or, like Mercus said, succeed on the weight loss, play Destiny instead of Fallout, and you'll be great.
Let's talk Destiny next.
Okay. Destiny talk. Bring it.
Okay, so I initially didn't have too much interest in Destiny, only because I didn't know very much about Destiny. But Activision emailed me the other day, and they said they were going to send me a couple free copies of the game, and they wanted to know what console I wanted it on. So I was like, but I don't have a next-gen console yet, so I quickly had to decide, what am I going to buy? So I went with the PlayStation 4, and they're going to send me a copy. And so I was like, well, I should learn something about this game. I should see what this thing is I'm playing. So I watched the trailers and some of the gameplay, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really fucking fun. It's 3-person co-op, so I wish that Taylor had a PlayStation 4 or Chiz had one.
I do have a PlayStation 4.
What? Yes.
I got one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got to turn mine
like
on.
Fucking Destiny.
Dude, yeah, we could do that at PKA Plays Destiny.
Yeah,
dude, for
I need
Destiny,
to Google this. I have no idea what Destiny is.
Dude, so we watched.
Let's watch the live action trailer. Can we just do it? Can we watch it and then we could discuss the trailer? Because one thing I love a ton is well-made trailers and commercials, like the Halo commercials, the Gears of War commercials. Like we've discussed them at length before. I love those, like the ones that get you emotionally invested in a game, get you pumped, ready to kill the enemy, or ready to become to take on the avatar of the character and help him through his journey. And
Gears was the best at that.
Get him his redemption. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of specifically is Gears. Commercials that do that well are I really enjoy those. And the Destiny live action trailer, it sort of gets you excited about the game in a different way. And let's watch it. Let me try to pull this
I'm
thing
looking
out.
for it.
I just went on their website. It's only like 2 minutes long.
Did you find the right one?
Let's make sure we listen
Is
to
it the live action one? Oh, here it is.
Yeah, live action trailer. Become Legend is what it's called.
Yeah.
Here's a link.
I don't know about that tagline. I don't care for it personally, but
Become Legend.
Here, we'll watch this together. Hopefully, they don't copyright strike me. And I'm queued up at 0. I'm gonna turn some volume on.
Yeah, so it's 0.
Let's make sure we're totally silent throughout it, because it seems that the people who listen to audio only prefer it when we don't commentate or describe what's happening.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Ready, set, play.
Congratulations. Humans haven't been on the moon in hundreds of years.
Nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here.
Tyrion's
Dying
voice.
here is much more likely.
Nice pep talk.
Who?
Oh, man. There's nothing I hate more than an alien with no respect for history.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Well, now it's a party.
Music?
Something classical. Venus?
This is so awesome.
This is a great trailer. It's making me want to play it. Good song choice.
I love the song choice. I'm slightly talking over it so I don't get automatically copyright struck.
Anybody speak space turtle?
I can say hello in any language. Looks like he can say goodbye, too.
Is this out yet?
Yeah, came out a few days ago.
What do you think is down there?
Death.
Theirs or ours?
Let's find out.
I hate when she does that.
Yeah. Last
Great
part was
trailer.
kind of gay, but that was a good trailer.
Yeah, great trailer.
Yeah,
It was
it's
a
just the only thing with live action trailers is I get so excited by it that I like when I see the actual video game characters, I'm like, ah, fuck.
They're
a
not
little bit,
that
you
far
know?
off. So that's exactly what the characters look like. Obviously, it's a video game, but that's what they look like.
I'll tell you. So I haven't played Destiny yet, but I've been watching people live stream it, and you know, I reserve the right to change my mind. But at the moment, I'm kind of done with COD and COD clones and first-person shooters and such. Like, as a single-player game, absolutely. Co-op, I'm totally down, and I think it has a 3-person co-op, which is great. As a competitive shooter, like what I did in COD for years and years, people fuss about the term competitive, but that's what it was to me. It was like every time I played COD, even though other people are goofing about, I'm like try-harding all the time. And I'm kind of just done with try-harding. I'm having a great time with Mount Your Friends, Worms,
Trials, all those games.
Trials. Like that to me is my current version of fun gaming. To go in and like, you know, stress and try and lead the lobby in Destiny or something, like I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this right now. I guess I've become a filthy casual to some extent.
Yeah, you are.
I like those games. And you know, there aren't any games that I'm passionate enough about right now in a multiplayer kind of way to be honing my skills at.
Exactly, dude. When I first started playing COD, I thought about COD significantly more than I thought about sex. Right? It was like every day I would, you know, just think about it, what I could do. I'd sort of rehash the night before, what went well, what wasn't. Was I playing on tilt? Tonight I'm going to do this. I can't wait to get together with my friends and do this again. And I had a group of guys I played with all the time. I would like go through different groups of guys, and you know, sometimes they were YouTubers, sometimes they were not. And we just put together teams. I'd introduce my worlds to each other, and I was excited about it. Dude, everything was COD to me. I just loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. I'd watch YouTube videos and get like specs and you know, COD 4 in particular. Even going on further, I could tell you like the rate of fire, what happens over different hit distances, where the strength of every gun lied. You know, the different nades as you go on, nades versus C4. Like I was an expert in COD because I had a passion for it that was greater than my passion for anything else in life at the time. I see Destiny, and I'm like, I kind of did that already. You know, can I just fuck about instead? You know, because that sounds like fun.
Yeah, but did you do it in space with cutesy little humor bits? I hate when she does that. Oh, don't get me started.
See, I hear where you're coming from, but I don't think you've watched as much live stream as I have. The vibe to me is just like COD. Like, all right, you go in 2 teams, you're playing like deathmatch or something, some sort of capture the flag. I probably screwed that up, and there they are. They're all try-harding, you know. And like I was watching Gold Glove, I watched Jericho, and when I was watching them, actually, they were getting very frustrated that they weren't performing as well as they wanted to, which you know, for me, that's how like 90% of my COD goes. Like I'll hit a hole in one every 13 games, and the other 12 I'm like, I know I'm capable of hole-in-ones. Why don't I get only hole-in-ones? And that's like, that's my multiplayer online shooter experience. But as for a co-op playthrough, that is like perfect to me.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I like how I like the look of the game. Looks fun to me. It looks kind of like Halo, but faster paced and cooler.
Did you guys notice Peter Dinklage voice as the little flying thing?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, that was Peter Dinklage, the
Tyrion.
Yeah, Tyrion.
the robotic thing on his shoulder.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't notice that.
you got
See?
the Lannister with you.
Yeah. Dude, I'm down to play some Destiny. I'll set it up, and I got to set up all my recording gear and stuff like that again.
Yeah,
I haven't
I've still got
recorded
a.
the console.
I guess I'll order the PlayStation 4 tonight.
I wish they had a PC version. I
Me
would.
too.
They say it's coming, but don't hold your breath. That's what I read. So it's going to be like a Grand Theft Auto situation.
Have you opened your
like-
PS4 yet, Woody?
Yeah, I opened it a couple weeks. I just have like I pre-ordered my PS4 like months in advance. I got it the day it came out. In like 2 weeks or so, the box was bothering me, so I like hooked it all up, and I literally haven't turned on my PS4 yet. It's been 10 months, and I haven't turned it on.
Jesus.
Yeah,
It's almost a year. I'm so excited for the new shit. And then-
I was really excited like before it came out, and like it became a passion of mine to like compare what we knew about the Xbox One to the PS4, and the different kinds of RAM and such. And now it kind of scores posted. Like the PS4 performs better. The things that make the Xbox better, like TV integration and such, I'm not loving. Hell, my Kinect, I think, causes us as much trouble as it does kindness. Like, we have one downstairs. Dog wags its tail, and suddenly, like, Netflix is like, did you want to pause? Like, no, I didn't. And that, like, really happens, and it happens too often. And so...
Have you seen that guy who made his gamertag Xbox sign out, that video?
Yes, yeah.
It's really funny. All the people yelling at him because he traps them in corners and it signs them out. That seems like it has the potential to be a really stupid, bad feature. Didn't they do something to fix that?
I don't know.
Because people were yelling through them. I don't know.
I
know nothing
suspect
about
it
the
was
Xbox
fake.
One.
I don't mean to give that particular YouTuber a hard time, but I can hardly get my Xbox to listen to any of my commands. And meanwhile, they're like picking theirs up in mid-game, like repeatedly. I don't think so.
Could be.
It's just not that
It's
good.
funnier if you believe.
Yeah, I was instantly skeptical. But Destiny looks amazing. It's just like I don't know what's after the big question was what's the COD killer? So far, COD is still the biggest shooter, at least on consoles. Nothing killed COD except people moving on to different kinds of games. When you look at what's big on YouTube, it's not COD. A very small, passionate group gives a shit about competitive COD. But like PewDiePie is not playing COD. Who else is a giant gamer? I don't even know.
It wasn't really any game that knocked out COD. It was just boredom and repetition that beat it.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. And then like Call of Duty, World at War, even like Modern Warfare 2 times, even through the shit parts of Modern Warfare 2, I'm like, oh man, this game's so cool. I'm going to keep playing this forever. This is awesome, even if it has little problems. And then now I couldn't give less of a shit.
Yeah.
Like it's just not it's not interesting. Despite the shirt I'm wearing, like it's just not good.
Yeah, people are
Zombies
asking,
is still fun.
are we doing a road to advanced warfare? And my answer is I'd be down to do that. But I don't actually want to get it early, and certainly like the offers we used to make, like I would genuinely pay $1,000 to get it 2 weeks early.
Absolutely. Like most of the time we were very serious. Like I was willing to pay like $1,000 to get it.
Yeah, for me, I was always willing to like do the deals we were talking about, but I also knew that the way we approached it, like $1,000 and split a whore, you down, wasn't the way that like a serious person would approach it. But yeah, I was totally down to come through on my end. Now it would all be just for show. I wouldn't pay $100 for early COD. Well, maybe I would because
I probably won't pay $60. I don't care.
yeah,
But-
and I don't mean to dog on them too much. I think they work really hard. And Advanced Warfare in particular has taken some risks that we haven't seen in previous ones. I mean, they're bringing back like the pick 10 system there, and then the movement is different. A lot of people took offense to me saying that competitive COD should be closer to what the pubs play, but I haven't changed my mind. I just they should do that.
Yeah, I agree.
But Destiny looks cool. I wonder if it'll be a COD killer. I don't know. We said that about Titanfall.
I don't know. I think it'll be a fun game to play. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, especially the campaign. That's the part I'm kind of down for. I wonder how long it is.
I don't know. That's a good question, because if it's like a 4-hour thing, I'm gonna have to pull back on the reins. I'm hoping it's long.
I bet it's
I like
post
long
10. Plus, maybe I suck, but I usually take like, how long does this game take, and add about 25%, and that's how long it takes me.
Oh yeah, you did have a bit of a struggle in Dead Space.
Dude, what are you talking about?
How can you struggle in Dead Space?
I didn't.
It tells you where to
Kyle
go.
did. Kyle couldn't fly. Kyle couldn't dodge rocks. Kyle.
You have to fly like Superman, like this, through this asteroid field, and it was awful.
It was no problem whatsoever.
For some reason, I really couldn't do it at all. I couldn't. I mean, probably 30 or 40 fails.
How
Like, I
dare
don't
you
think I
throw me
understood-
under the Dead Space bus? I did fine.
Like I don't think I understood the basics of how to operate that character.
It's interesting because it's kind of like the if people don't know, I've talked about how I'm bad at shooting things in the air with a shotgun, and now I'm not. But Kyle was like, "There's just something wrong here. Like even a bad shooter would hit 1 in 20. You know, like I don't know what you're doing, but once we fix that, you'll be fine." And last time I shot, we fixed it. Now I was hitting whatever, like 5 or 6 skeet in a row. But that's how Kyle was. Like Kyle's a much better gamer than that particular performance led on. I bet just like 30 seconds of this is what you do, and he'd be fine.
It was really horrible, and I got no help from Woody. Woody was the worst Dead Space partner ever. He should have been telling me what I was doing wrong. We recently played Trials, and I was really shitty at that, but I've improved. I put a lot of time into practicing, and me and Chiz are going back and forth beating each other's scores now, so I've definitely improved at that.
I don't think I'm getting that. I haven't practiced, and I win. There's 3 of us about 25% of the time. So not quite my share, but I'm in the game.
Yeah, I want to unlock the other bike.
Yeah.
And,
you want to
Flame
unlock
Arrow.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't unlocked.
It's a fun game. Trials is a fun game. I don't know why I'd never played that. But we did. That's what we did for PKA plays last week. We did Trials.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh, a quick note on that. For some reason, my render. Well, I know why. My rendering wasn't very good because I used the NVIDIA encoder, so it didn't put load on my CPU. And now that I see the result of that, I'm not going to use it anymore. So, in case people were curious about that. But yeah, I wish Trials looked better. I want to play some amazing looking PC games.
That's me too. That's where the idea for Destiny came from. I know it's not a PC game, but I was looking at like the new games and like what was cutting edge, and I saw that. I've been trying to think of good games for us to do for PKA plays that would be a good looking game on the PC, and I guess that Borderlands prequel thing that Chiz mentioned is coming out. That's probably our best bet.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I like
love
that
Borderlands.
idea. Yeah.
Something like that would be cool, but it depends what genre game we're talking about. I was thinking an MMORPG would be fun, but I mean we could play World of Tanks, but I don't know how it.
I've played that.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. Isn't that like a cell phone game?
They've got a lot of different ways you can do that.
Maybe they do.
There's a PC app and a phone app, or at least there will be soon for both.
I put a little money into World of Tanks, so I would be better than you.
I made a commercial for World of Tanks. I doubt your tank's as nice as mine.
What, are you talking about a real life tank? Because I can't compete with that.
No, my in-game tank. Like I've got a profile on World of Tanks too. That's all tricked out because they hooked me up.
They hooked me up as well.
I haven't played.
I bet my tank's better.
I wouldn't bet against it. I bet your tank is pretty good, but
they probably gave you the better tank.
I did a live stream where I played with subs and stuff, and it was actually a really bad experience for that. They were like, For COD, you know how there's like whatever, like 10, 12 people in a lobby? There were like 100 in World of Tanks. And they were just like immature, grating, horrible human beings who would like scream and be stupid. Oh, and then World of Tanks had another issue. This is Tanks' problem. When you come in, your mic is on full gain, like blasting out loud, and everything you say is abusive to the other people. Like it hurts their ears and you sound bad because it's like... I can't even do it because my mic is properly set up, but it sounds terrible, and that just happened all day.
Fixed that now.
Maybe they have fixed it now. That would be great, but they had some tech issues. Goodness, it was terrible. Yeah, we can play World of Tanks. Oh, poor Kyle.
I was like, well, I think that they are a great game.
Great
and that there are a
organization,
bunch of
great
annoying
game,
little
great game.
shitheads ruining it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem wasn't a World of Tanks issue. It was my subscribers, really. What do I say? They were just jumping in and they're like, "Meow, meow, meow, meow." And I'm like, seriously? Like that? Or, hey, Woody, can I ask you a question? Hey, Woody. And those people are well-meaning, but they're also stream-destroying. So.
Have you guys played Wolfenstein?
I watched
haven't.
a bunch of videos on it.
God damn it, the one game that I've played recently that I could talk about.
I have it on
Neither of
PC.
you.
I just haven't played it. Like
you got to.
when the Steam sale went down, like a lot of fans gifted me stuff, and if you want to continue to gift me that stuff, it's OFPS Kyle O. Just keep giving me that stuff. I really appreciate it, and I have no shame. I appreciate your free games, and I play them, and I enjoy them. You put a little bit of joy into my heart, and I appreciate it. And I usually send you a little thank you letter back for your $70 purchase. So I really appreciate
that's
it.
sweet of you.
I've got a lot of fucking games. Like after that, they just kept rolling in like during the Steam sale thing. Like people were just buying me shit. I really appreciated it. So thank all of you who did that.
Speaking of appreciation, I wanted to thank the Patreon people. We were a little late on delivering some of the stuff. I actually have, let me see, it's right here. One of the Patreon levels gets you postcards, and we were slow in getting those out, but it's starting, so that's kind of a cool thing. There's like voicemails and videos and ask me anything questions, and we're delivering on the Patreon stuff you bought. So anyway, sorry we're late on that, but you're gonna get what you paid for. That's how we do it.
Yeah, I guess I should be getting mine sometime soon. Probably they may be in the mailbox. I don't think I checked the mail today.
Yeah, and then what was I gonna say? I don't know. Like some of the virtual stuff we've always delivered on. Like we do Painkiller nearly every week. They get it early if they're Patreon donors. They get this show early if you're a Patreon donor. That stuff, what happens in the topics, we cover that super fast. So we do a good job at that. Some of the physical stuff, like the postcards, we were slow on, but we're coming through. So sorry about the issues we had. We're sort of working out kinks.
Oh shit! I accidentally unplugged my camera. I'll get this fixed. So I guess we got a couple directions we could go in from here. There's
Didn't I have two?
Any news on Boogie?
9/11.
No. Well, I've got a couple options here.
I'm listening.
So we could go 9/11. We could talk Joe Lozon. We could talk Survival Trip, though I think Joe Lozon should come before Survival Trip because he's probably going on the Survival Trip. So, or we could talk about this guy who let his dog die because I always like ragging on cops.
I think we should close with a bang, so let's leave 9/11 for last. And then start with either Lozon or whatever else.
You think 9/11's a bang? I mean, I'm not talking literally, but figuratively speaking.
Wow, America, that's insensitive.
It's a little more of a boom, but I don't know.
I think we
talk
should
about whatever.
close with a smash.
I don't think 9/11 talk's going to be that great. I mean,
No,
I
it
guess
won't.
we could all talk about where we were that day, or we could talk about how it made us feel. But the answer is the same for all of us. We were going about our days. You were in school. I was in school. Woody was at work. I'm almost certain, right?
I was on my way.
Yeah. So like that's what we were doing. I'm sure at first, like everyone, we thought, oh man, a plane crash. We probably didn't know it was an airliner. And then after that, when we finally had a realization, it was shock and fear and confusion.
I was 10 years old, and so my first reaction was, fuck yeah, no math today, what's going on? And then later it was clarified. And I still didn't really understand it. I was 10.
I was
You know?
15. I was 15 or 16 maybe. I don't know. I was in driver's ed.
Ah.
I had like worked from home like the first hour, and then I was driving in for my first meeting, so it was like going on 10. And I knew about it. I knew that a plane had crashed. I might have even known that a second one crashed, but it didn't dawn on me that it was really a big deal. And I was it was a really big meeting. There were like 200 people there. I was just attending, not leading. And they canceled it. They ended it. They're like, you know what? We're not really sure what's happening here. Go back to your cubes, and we'll do this another time. As I get back to my cube, the vibe in the office was unlike any I had seen before. People were panicked. Everyone was huddling around. There wasn't enough bandwidth for like everybody to stream. Like CNN wasn't able to keep up with the traffic, which was like the major thing at the time. And but like it would work on one person's computer, and like 15 people would huddle around it to learn. And my wife was able to watch on TV. And I remember I was rude to her. She's like, the second building just crashed. And mind you, that the plane hit towards the top. I thought maybe the top could fall off at worst, or if it fell, like I don't know. And I'm like, the building just can't disappear, And she's like, no, it's gone. It fell all the way down. There's nothing left. And I'm like, okay, like, how many stories would you say are left? And she's like, left? It's maybe like 2 stories tall now. And then I was like, oh my God, 2? For real? Like, I think it was 110. And now it's just a compressed version of that. And I felt almost silly, but I was like, all right, honey, there is a nuclear power plant not too far from like, this area. And if that's target, put the kids in the car, don't worry about anything. Head north away from it, pick me up, and we'll just keep going to some safer place. That's our thing.
Go to New Jersey. They'll never bother hitting that shithole.
No,
they already hit it. No one can tell.
Is that what that smell is? Is that a biological attack that Al Qaeda launched on New Jersey back in the day? Is that why it smells like a diaper?
It's one little spot. It's just not all like that. So, but what got me, the big thing about 9/11 was the next 4 days. The next 4 days, it completely occupied the American mind. I had never been patriotic. I mean, I like my country. I'm proud of it. We're good at certain stuff, like breaking things and being rich. But it was just like, yeah, America. One of the cool things about America is that you're not necessarily like, America, fuck yeah. It's like, we're just casual about it. Like that Mad Men scene. You know what I think about you? I feel sorry for you. You know what I think about you? I don't think of you at all. Like, that's America. And suddenly, like all the flags on the cars, all the I'm American and we're gonna fucking fight back. Like, you can't do this to us, became injected into my heart. And it also like a sense of wounding. And I didn't know anyone who died, like not a single person. The closest was one of my coworkers' husbands was in there when the plane hit it, but he got out. So that was like the closest thing. Yeah. And for the next weeks, it seemed like it wasn't okay to smile. It wasn't okay to tell jokes. Even privately talking to friends, I felt that way in my heart. It wasn't like something that you wouldn't say in public in bad taste. It was just like I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I had this sense of sports, which I was following at the time, seemed completely unimportant. It was just like,
the games got weird too.
Yeah, like, how could anyone care about football when 9/11 just happened?
Yeah, before and during every game, there was just lots of talk of it.
Yeah, so they were worried every game was a target, and there was also people felt like I did, like every game didn't matter. Football now matters, but at the time it was like, who cares? This is American football I'm talking about. Who cares? 9/11 is what matters. And then the whole country became thirsting for more information about Afghanistan. Afghanistan and Al Qaeda were like new concepts to us. I think I'd heard of it before, but I couldn't find it on a map, and I certainly didn't know about their infighting and this and that. Afghanistan was the country to me that was messing with Russia, so we kind of liked him. That's all I really knew about it. I don't know. That's what 9/11 did to me. I suddenly didn't care about anything.
We were all ready for them to blow some shit up. I remember it had been like a week or two, and we hadn't blown anything up yet, and we were all getting real antsy. We were like, they're going to blow some shit up, right?
Right.
Like this ends with us blowing lots of shit up, right? that's how it ends, right?
I
And then they
pictured
did blow up a lot of their shit.
I pictured in my head people in helicopters in like anti-radiation bunny suits flying over a nuclear blast site, and I was like, does it really turn the sand to glass when we do that? I want to see. I want to turn this place to glass, and you know, like
Be an improvement.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I can't tell you. Like even now, they're starting to like behead Americans over in, is it Syria? I'm messing it up. But ISIS has beheaded a couple Americans, and it's like, you don't understand. A motivated America will fuck you up. Like that's probably our number one talent right now.
Yeah, it's not a good idea to get the American populace mad at you, because then our politicians have to like follow suit with that because they want to get reelected. And we spend more on defense than the next like 6 or 8 countries combined. 8.
Yeah.
The next 8 countries combined, and China's one of those.
Yeah.
Like, take China and the other 7 biggest military spenders in the world, minus us, and we still spend more than them.
Right. Yeah.
It's just not a good idea to saw American citizens' heads off, because then we start letting our politicians use some of that money on you, and it's not good, because it's like civilization, and whether you like it or not, our military is about 15 turns ahead of yours. I don't care who you are.
I mean, I think it's a little misleading, the whole like we spend that much more, since I'm sure China doesn't have VA benefits like we do. So really, we're probably spending, you know,
I don't think that money's added in there. That's defense spending, I think.
No, it's definitely included in military spending.
That's interesting.
Like
I
how much they used
that.
to maintain, like
Just
so
the
they guaranteed
same.
the Chinese or the Indian military is like hiring 15 people for the price of 2 of ours, or something like that. You know.
I'll
So
tell
maybe
you,
I just don't think it could be that skewed. That seems unrealistic. Like we need to settle down if that's the case.
we do need to settle down. But a motivated America will break stuff, and the people will cheer like their football team made the Super Bowl. Every soldier becomes a hero, right? It doesn't matter. They can rate people, and it's like, you know, I swear to God, when they were like sexually assaulting the people in that Iraq prison, Abu Ghraib, or Abu, I hope I pronounced that right or close. Rush Limbaugh tried to explain that soldiers need to blow off steam. That's the shit you'll have to deal with. Like, soldiers need to blow off steam. Yeah, I know. We had them naked and we grabbed their penises like they were trucker horns. Everyone blows off steam. Oh, it's yeah, make a cheerleader pyramid. Go, guys. We're blowing off some steam.
I remember those pictures. Those were uncomfortable even to look at.
Yeah. Anyway, so that come 9/11, we were ready to.
I have a bit of a
kill.
comparison between the U.S. military and the Chinese military. So obviously they beat us in personnel. Active military personnel, we have 1.4 million. They have 2.3 million. In reserves, we have 850,000, and they have 2.3 million. However, total aircraft strength, United States, 13,683. China, 7,788. Helicopter strength, 6,000 for America, 850 for China. Serviceable airports, 13,513 for America, 507 for China.
13,000 to 500. Wow.
13,500 to 500. Total tank strength, they actually beat us. We have 8,300 tanks, and they have 9,100 tanks.
Damn it!
Total armored.
I'll pay more taxes to win that.
But we're talking about. But when we're talking about armored fighting vehicles, we have 25,700. They have 4,700. Total self-propelled guns. These are big guns, not counting artillery. We have 1,900. They have 1,700. In artillery, they outdo us. We have 1,800. They have 6,000. But you can see like the stuff that matters, like helicopters and the navies are pretty similar. Although they only have 1 aircraft carrier and we have 10. Our subfleets are similar. We have 3 times as many destroyers at 62 versus 24.
The other thing
Nice.
that's not being measured here is the quality of these things. Like, you know, okay, they have more tanks. I would bet a lot of money that we can pull at least a 5 KD ratio on a tank fight. And when you start including our Air Force, that number just goes higher.
They're counting like rickshaws with a guy with a rifle sitting in it.
Or just older tanks. You know, that's what, when we went to Iraq, you know, they had this elite Republican Guard or whatever. And I remember watching a documentary on it, and they showed the heat signature of an Iraqi tank. And, you know, it didn't take long for them to figure out, like, oh, look, they may be covering them with sand or tarps or camo or whatever. But they just shine their bright white tank looking things. And the Air Force called it tank plinking. And they just go out with like 8 missiles on their wings. 8 tanks gone, and they were just plinking. It was no problem. It was instant death. You know, they had figured out how to take out those tanks, and it was a piece of cake. And we just ran these sorties nonstop, plane after plane after plane. Everyone would come out and come back with like 8 tank kills. It would take no
honestly,
time at all.
it's like we're hacking war. How much we just dominate over there. Every single video I see is just like some calm American guy talking with a, you know, night vision view, like, and look.
Well, you
for
have
him.
complete air superiority.
And there he is. What are they going to do? Oh, they're going to move around some more because they don't know we're here because we're fucking a mile and a half in the air in some $2 billion machine while they have an AK-47 from 1981 they got from Somalia or something. But we're more likely Russia.
Yeah, we have war cheat codes.
Yeah, we do. It's like it's so unfair. I would be pissed if I were on the other team. I'd be like, this is horseshit. I don't even want to do this. We can't win. This is nonsense.
It would be bad if you never really got to see your enemy. You just kind of exploded every now and then.
Yeah, that's pretty much the deal.
Like you heard him, you could hear him up there, like rocketing past at the speed of sound, and maybe you could see him every now and then, but it was only before the rockets and missiles and bombs started falling.
Yeah, there's no defense against it. They just have to, every time they hear that, be like,
They
big
don't have any
money, no
defense
whammy,
against
no
it. The
whammy.
Chinese do.
Just hope it's not them, because there's no escape.
Yeah.
This is getting me strangely patriotic.
Yeah. So now that we've talked about the American military-industrial complex, I guess we could. So we're going to shift to Joe Lozon talk.
Okay,
Is it time?
I like the topic picking, so I will throw out 2 options: Joe Lozon talk, Whiteboy talk.
Let's
I
do
don't even know
Whiteboy
what
talk
happened with
because
White Boy.
White Boy talk's kind of quick and dirty.
Yeah, so it turns out that I hope I get this just right, the district attorney is dropping the charges against Whiteboy and Kelly because
nice.
they weren't sure that the evidence would survive a motion to suppress. Yeah, I'm not an attorney, but I think what that means is that his attorney figured that they didn't find the pot correctly. Like, you know, they needed a warrant or something like that. But
yeah, because of the reason they were there, it was going to make the evidence inadmissible.
Which is interesting to me because, like, I mean, all right, so I don't think people should be going to jail for pot. But hypothetically, let's say they were murderers and they found a body and they were like, well, you were really here for, like, I don't know, a building violation, and you found a body, you can't submit, like, that doesn't count in evidence. No. Or let's say it wasn't a body. Let's say it was like and Whiteboy didn't do any of these things. Don't get it twisted. But let's say it was like a stolen toaster or something. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, I have proof that, you know, you did like a B&E because there's a stolen toaster right here. And you know, I don't think, like,
I think he would get out of it. I think if he had a stolen toaster, he would also get the charges dropped.
You might be right about the toaster example, but not with the body
I think you got
example.
a body laying there. See, I think the difference is the evidence is the crime. Like, possession of the marijuana is the crime in particular. So once it's once it as a piece of evidence is gone, then is there even a crime anymore? Whereas with a dead body, it's like, well, we got a dead guy here. Like, he's not going anywhere. We can't give him back to White Boy. Like, we got to do something about this dead body.
So the thing about the body is it's a really important crime, so like they have to pursue it. But it's interesting to me that I guess because they found it the wrong way, they got off on a technicality. But
yeah,
they should have got off anyway because it was pot. And I feel like, dude, the world will not be a better place if you put White Boy in jail, right? I mean, there are people who need to be removed, people who need to teach lessons or whatever. But you know, a guy smoking pot is not a good reason to, like, you know, get him started in our prison system. So but yeah, so I guess White Boy and Kelly got off because the attorney found a way that they wouldn't be able to use the evidence they found against him.
Yeah,
So this is for sure, or just like a tweet he did, or
for sure.
Well, I mean,
oh, that's great.
it was on a website, so I mean, it was right there on the internet. It must be true.
Yeah.
People wouldn't lie.
And the other thing to throw out there is, so the original website that covered the news about him so much, I don't even remember the name of it because I hadn't heard of it before, but they said it was Whiteboy's second offense, and even the like county jail website had like subsequent next to him, implying it was a second offense. But I'm told that it wasn't his second offense, that it was his first offense, and that was in error. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That it might have been his first offense. So yeah, he got caught with, I guess, a large amount of weed, and now they aren't going to prosecute him anymore because they think they'd lose the case.
Good.
Scot-free. Good job, Alex.
There it is.
All right.
So Joe Lozon talk?
Okay. Joe Lozon nearly killed a man legally a week ago. He was
Yeah,
saved.
we watched it live, and like we live streamed us watching it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually fun. I really enjoyed that. I'd be up for doing that for another event or anything. Really, that was cool.
Yeah. I had a good time doing it. What was I gonna say? So here's how the fight went down. The first round, Joe won, but I wouldn't say Joe dominated. I would say Joe won it. He just, like, the guy got Joe's back briefly, and Joe managed to flip it, get full mount, then get his back. It was really impressive. Joe just did more damage to him than he did to Joe. And interesting to me is they entered the second round. Joe looked just less winded. I mean, they had both been in a fight, but Joe was like, all right, round 2, here we go. And the other guy was like, fuck. And then in the second round, in my memory anyway, Joe was starting to dominate the second round. He was really doing a lot more damage than he was receiving, until at one point, I'll put myself on the main camera, he got his arm sort of hooked. But like a Muay Thai thing is where you grab the plum. If you feel the back of your head, there's like a lump there. You grab that, and there's a couple different grips on it, and you hold him. He did that, but it was kind of one-handed, and then he got his knee into the guy's face, right? Like sort of, might have been right under the eyebrow or right above it. Like I think it was right under the eyebrow. I'm not positive though. And it cut it. It cut it bad. Kyle was calling it a vagina-sized cut, which interestingly I have heard all over the internet now. I don't know if it's because everyone sees the same thing or if they're all just like it's placed in their head by Kyle.
It's quite bad.
Because it looks just like that. That was my first thought when I saw it.
Are you
I was
serious?
like, oh
or
my
you
god,
goofing?
that's pretty brutal. Oh, that looks like a pussy. No, like right away, that's what I thought. I thought that wasn't a kind of embarrassing cut. It's not even like cool and gory and bloody. It's like just a big soppy puss of blood.
It's real bad.
It was
Yeah,
awful.
it's pretty gross.
You know what? I could probably get a picture of it.
When I see open cuts like that, all I can think of is just, the feeling of the air stinging that. Just the exposure. Ugh, that would suck. God, I'm such a bitch. That was my first thought, just the air exposure, not the fact that you got a knee to the head. And that probably stings.
It looked like it stung.
It's probably smarts. Ooh, that's smarts. That's what he probably thought.
So this guy, Michael Chesia, I hope I pronounced that right. He had won the Ultimate Fighter recently. And
Sucks to suck now.
ooh, I found a good picture of it. So, and I'm having a hard time. The first picture, hold on, I need another picture because the first one I find, it doesn't show in my browser. It downloads when I click on it. All right, so here we go. For those of you interested, this is what Joe's opponent looked like. I don't think that's the actual fight, but that's the guy. And this is what Joe did to him. So I'll give my co-hosts an image to look at. There you go. That's what Joe did to the guy. He cut, it looked like, I was talking to Joe about it afterwards. He hit him, and then the guy lifted his head, and to Joe, he could see his head lift and his eyelid kind of follow. Like the motion of standing up really quickly would spread that out even further. It was gigantic. And it was bleeding a lot. And you can see, like, even in this photo, how much it gets into his eye. which is one of the things they use to gauge as to whether or not they should stop a fight. Like, does this fighter have proper vision? And he didn't. So Joe kneed this guy, and like I said, he was pretty much dominating the second round. He was really getting the best of him, and it was just getting more and more lopsided. And then Joe actually, people think that Michael was coming back, but in reality, Joe wanted to break it because he knew as soon as the doctor saw this cut that they'd end the fight. So he like let the guy go, just sort of covered up. And when they did that, the ref stopped it, sent him to the doctor. The doctor saw it and said the fight is over. So
yeah, if that had continued and Joe had started hitting that, it would have gotten really bad.
I know, Joe. That's exactly what he would have done.
That's what any professional fighter would do. You start hitting that. You start, oh, look, he's got a vagina on his face. Let's hit that. That's totally what's going to happen. I'm going to punch you in your face, vagina.
That would have... Michael, I hope I pronounce it right, Chesia, something like that. He wanted to keep fighting. Like, to his credit, he kind of had the spirit for it, or at least after a little breath, and he wanted to keep fighting. And then online, he was like talking all this trash. Like, people are saying, "Oh, at least you got a $50,000 fight of the night bonus." They both did, and he's like, "I'd give that back for a chance at a rematch." And he's just talking rematch. And Joe is like, "Oh, you give back your bonus for a chance at a rematch? Send it to me. I'll give you a rematch." All of a sudden, no, I didn't mean that. And it's like, you've got a problem with your reading comprehension. No, he doesn't, bitch. Take your money and shut the fuck up. You lost a fight.
I actually did read through all those comments, like their little squabbles on Twitter. It was not the kind of fight that I thought would happen, or argument that I thought would happen between two professional fighters. It sounded like a little playground bitching. But hey, we got a guest.
Yes, you're here.
I was supposed to be here an hour and a half ago, and apparently I'm going to have to leave here in just a couple of minutes.
2.5 hours ago.
I forgot that we were doing it on Thursday rather than Friday, which is the most normal time that we've normally done this kind of thing. And I know Thursday, you agreed to do it on Thursday because I was going to pop in. And then I screwed it up. So bad. Oh my God, I've been having a terrible day. Sorry about that, Woody. I love you. I love the show. I wanted to be on it, and then I screwed the pooch.
I think of you as just a friend.
I don't think of you at all.
I think of you as the most kissable boy in all of YouTube land.
I covered it already on the show, but did you watch Wings' video today by chance?
No, I did not see it. What was it about?
So I really wanted to get your take on this. Wings has decided that he doesn't like weighing in anymore. And he's going to stop doing that, and instead he'll just sort of notice the difference in the way his clothes fit. And he's been eating everything in sight for the last couple of days, and it sounds like he's gained everything he lost and then some. His starting weight is actually really hard to figure out because I think he chooses it arbitrarily. But
some therapists and some nutritionists will tell you not to concentrate too heavily on the scale. You don't want to get on it every day, and it's probably a good idea that you don't get on it much more often than, say, once a week. But weighing it occasionally is really important. For a guy of a really big size who's been sedentary for a while and begins to be active, measuring the size of their stomach, the size of their legs, the size of their arms is a much more telling tool than what the scale says. So if he's doing that and keeping accurate measures and doing it at least once a week, that would be different. But if he's not using either of those tools to track progress, and he's not tracking progress, and he's eating like crap, then it just kind of sounds like he's in some level of denial, and someone needs to slap him upside the head. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you mentioned that's what he was doing. The weekly weigh-in, and that's not what he's going to do anymore.
Right. I've actually had a therapist. I suffer, we've talked about it a little bit before, and I don't want to make excuses, but I have an obsessive compulsive eating disorder now diagnosed, Jay. And it's very difficult to control. And one of the things they said is that if I was getting negative feelings when I stood on a scale, not to stand on a scale, to measure my body, measure my weight, and if that gave me negative feelings, as long as I was tracking my calories, that would be okay. Because that was where the real problem lied, is the number of calories I was intaking. So if I focused on that and made sure that I was taking in less calories than the day before and less calories than I used to, then I'm doing okay. But again, that's a therapist. That's with working with a therapist. That's what Wings would need to be doing if he wanted to cut those very necessary and obvious tools.
Well, he's got gangster grandma there.
Oh, good. Well, I don't know what that means. So
That's his grandmother.
you have to tell me.
He's just unfortunately surrounded by enablers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just woefully so. All of them, from what I can tell.
A
By
lot
not
of
watching the
people-
videos.
I have been for the majority of my life, and it's only been until very recently with marrying my wife that I found somebody who will enable me in a very positive way. So when it comes to making sure I've got a salad in the fridge at all times, she's definitely taking care of that. When it comes to refitting our meals so that they're very healthy, it's positive reinforcement and positive enablement is the most important tool. And this is something that someone who has real problems can't do without somebody's help. I don't think
positive
Wings can
stuff
do it without help.
Is so tricky. Like even just 90 seconds ago, you were like, someone needs to smack him upside the head. It's hard to like be positive through his failures and attempts to quit all the time. You know?
I'll tell you that I spoke with DDP this week. And for those of you who don't know, I've been doing DDP yoga, and I've been doing a very loose version of it, something I can do in a chair the majority of the time because it's very difficult for me to get on my feet or in the floor to do the real like stuff that you'll get when you buy the discs or whatever. But I have been doing the DDP diet, lifestyle diet for sure. And I've been in close contact with DDP because of it. And a lot of the people that buy his DVDs, sometimes he'll just call people at random. Like, oh, you bought the DVD today. I'm just going to call that guy. I have his phone number. Why not talk to him, see what he's like? But I talked to him earlier this week, and we hadn't talked in a few weeks. And I'm like, why haven't we talked? He goes, because, Boog, you're not giving 110%. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And he goes, look, I know you're giving 110% for you, but you're not giving 110% for me. And you're on death's door, buddy. If you're not giving 110% of what I could do, you're not going to live. So until you're ready to give 110%, yeah, I'm not keeping as close an eye on you as I could be. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to realize I'm doing really good for me. And he goes, you're doing really good for you. And that's fucking hard to hear, you know, because I have been weak, because I have relied on food too much, because I have fucked up. And that's the kind of tough love. But when he says that I'll be there for you when you give that 110%, that I'm there for you when the time comes, he's real with me, he's honest with me, that's the kind of tough love that I think is important.
It
you know,
makes
the kind
me
that
wonder,
says,
is my rooting for Wings a fair weather friend, right? Because I'm kind of mad at him. I'm mad at him for quitting. You know,
yeah,
he's
I'm
like,
fucking
you know
mad
what?
at him too.
I'm happier when I don't weigh myself. I'm happy. Yeah, he used to just take it. He has these shirts. I don't know how big they are, but they're like 4 or 5X, and he just kind of fluffs it and says, "Look how loose it is." What do you mean I'm not losing weight? Come on, dude.
No shit.
You know,
But again, and a lot of people when I talk about this stuff, man, I can't believe this is the only thing I'm gonna end up getting to talk about tonight. But when somebody is in denial, and I would say that Wings might be in denial, I can't say for sure, I don't know him personally, I'm not his therapist. I know that I have been in denial. When I've been in denial, I said things like that. The desire to give into your compulsion, the desire to focus on your obsession, you will use whatever tools you have to make the argument that this is what I'm going to do, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to find a way to fucking do it. And you talk to any alcoholic, you talk to any drug addict, I can drink a little, well, I could just do one hit of heroin, well, I'll just do one 8-ball and then I'll be done with it. When they're in therapy, they're like, well, I won't drink for 3 weeks, but at the end of that 3 weeks, I'm going to have at least one bender. I deserve it. I've done so well. You're going to see a lot of that in Wings' recovery. You're going to see a lot of those excuses. You're going to see a lot of those mistakes. You're going to see a lot of those reasons. I've used them. Hell, I've used them right here on your own show. So at the end of the day, you know, but again, you have to tell them to focus on reality. You have to tell them to give 110%. You have to tell them to give the best that he can, to be the best person that he can, to push as hard as possible. And when he is doing that, be there for him and reward him positively. And when he's not, let him know that you will be when he's ready. And
it seems like there's an apex of that, though, where you can keep being like, yeah, you're doing great. Oh, you fucked up again. You ate 10 chocolate cakes. Oh, you fucked up. Sorry. Keep going. Like, at a certain point, though, like, after years of it, like, what's the right response then? Because you did say that during the recovery, or at least the person who called you saying, you know, you're not giving enough of an effort. Just because you think you're giving enough of an effort doesn't mean you are in the fight for survival. So at some point, it's got to turn that coin and be like, listen, dude, this isn't about support anymore. This is about people care about you, and we don't want you to, you know, not be around as long.
I probably can't give a proper answer to that because I'm from a long history of addicts. And not only that, but I've had friends and family that were electively addicts, you know, like people that I'm not related to. I don't have to put up with this person, but I want to because I'm attracted to people who are addicts. because that's the kind of people I know, and it's the kind of person I am. So I dealt with my father's alcoholism. I dealt with my mother's pill addiction. I dealt with my sister's issues, and I dealt with my brother's workaholism. I've dealt with all of the stuff. I've loved a lot of addicts, and there's a point where I think for me, I've learned to just accept that my father is going to die because of his alcoholism, and my mother is going to die strung out on pills, and I love them anyway. And so I guess that's how you become an enabler, though I never enabled either of those people. I loved them anyway. And that made it all the more difficult to not want to go there and help my mother, But it really depends. Really, what you ever have to decide is not the best way to help Wings. You have to decide what's best for you. And you guys did that collectively with PKA, and I think it was an honest and smart, intelligent decision. You had to decide, number one, do I love this person the way that I loved my mother or the way I loved my father? If the answer is yes, then you're going to deal with the fact that they're going to be fucked up for the rest of their lives. And Wings is always going to love food a lot for the rest of his life, and he's always going to make excuses. He's going to fight it. And even when he gets skinny, the same way Shay Carl got skinny, he's still going to struggle every day the same way Shay Carl says that he does. And that's just the thing. And so you guys made the selective decision that I do not need this person in my life, nor do I want this person in my life, so I'm going to do what's best for me. And there's never any wrong in that. There's never any guilt with that. You don't ever have to deal with it. But yeah, eventually it becomes that cycle that you mentioned. It becomes the cycle of, look, I'm constantly forgiving him. I'm constantly letting him screw up. I'm constantly letting him deal with that bullshit. And eventually their life fades away.
Yeah. Wings isn't off the show because he ate too much. He's off the show because he didn't treat us well, right? And sometimes that would come and he would just electively not do the show, even though he wasn't busy. He'd be like,
right.
Just not doing it. He'd choose not to. He'd say he wasn't in the mood or something like that.
What it really all comes down to, and I love the guy, and I'm just going to be as honest with you can, his addiction to food is just a host of all the different things that he has going on. There's a lot of different things going on, and I don't know the guy that well. I can't make excuses for him. I'm not going to argue for him or against him, but I'll just say that being overweight is just one of the many things on the list of things that he needs to work on, and I'm glad that he's working on all of them, and I'm glad that you guys made a positive decision for the show and for yourselves to do what you needed to do. That's why a lot of people, I've seen a lot of your friends go, oh, it would be kind of cool if Boogie was on the show more often. Well, I don't want to fucking piss him off. It's just a matter of time till I piss him off, because I'm just as broken as Wings. At the end of the day, I'm just as broken as anybody else you know. I am the most high-functioning piece of shit you've ever met.
You'd show up on my survival trip. You'd be there.
Oh, I'd love to, man.
For me, I can't speak for everyone who made the call, but the survival trip didn't even bother me. It was like
No, it didn't. No,
I
it didn't.
think it did
if
bother
anything, it was
you
sort
at
of
the
like the
time.
straw that broke the camel's back. It sort of brought into focus, like, wait a minute, he fucks up a lot. This isn't the first time. I'm tired of being a beaten dog with this guy.
I think it was the month at Kyle's that really put him over the edge. Kyle, at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For me, it was like the repeated sort of throwing me under the bus. Whenever he was in trouble, I was like there as a friend to him. Whenever I was in trouble, crickets. This saying stuff about me on like live streams or even in private. People don't even know about some of it. There are just a million little things, and it was like, he's just not being a good enough friend. Yeah. He can't be my partner. And now that I don't interact with him as much as I used to, I can sort of sit back there. I feel like my relationship is better now that I just get to watch him and root for him than it was when I had to like suffer the trouble that's involved with being close to him.
Well, speaking as a very aware of his own issues addict and a very aware of his own issues person who's not that great, and I say that, I know a lot of people are going to argue with me, but you don't know me as well as I know me. At the end of the day, it's difficult to be close to somebody who's broken. It's difficult to be close to somebody who has real issues. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's trying. And I've seen a lot of people in my life have to deal with it. I've seen a lot of people hit the exit button because of it.
How are you broken? Aside from eating, you see...
Well, we've talked about, I'm pretty together these days, but we talked about the stuff that I went through as a kid. We've talked about the depression. We've talked about the anxiety disorder, being diagnosed with PTSD. Mm-hmm. We've talked about dealing with all this stuff, and I've talked about it, the suicidal tendencies because of the depression, because of the body, the way it's broken down, the long history of addiction, and being an obsessive compulsive eater, and I don't know, just a lot of stuff. And a lot of times it can make me, like, especially like this week, for example, I pulled my back muscles again on Monday. Monday, and it meant I had to put the DDP on pause for a little while, and I had to go back into the chair even though I was getting used to being on my feet and all this other shit. And of course I became a cranky asshole because I became anxious, because I became nervous, and
so off camera, you're a moody, grumpy dude sometimes.
I can be. I know that I can be, and it's like especially when I first wake up in the morning, and before I really get the mask veil, as actors would call it, before I really get that on, I can be really a handful to deal with. But once I really get in my right mind and I'm out of pain and the painkillers are kicked in and my back is stretched a little bit and I've got the muscles, I can also be a really nice guy. And I really like being that guy. I like being that guy a lot more than I like being the shitty guy. And that's what, and this is just, wow, people are going to be really mad at me for saying this, but that's what Wings has to work on. He's got to work us on focusing on the positive parts of who and what he is, and he starts needing to whittle away at the negative parts. And when he does that, he's going to get better. And, he's nowhere near as bad off as me, or even a fraction of it. And I wish him nothing but a success in his recovery. And I also wanted to say, and I have to go because I have plans, and I want to fulfill those plans. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll try to come back in a little bit if I can. I know you're only filmed for a little bit more. But I just want to say, gamers are not bad people. Some of us are misogynistic, shitty assholes. Some of us have a mouth on us. Some of us are pricks. And it may even be close to half of us. And I know it's a bad argument. I know it's not all gamers, but not all gamers are bad. Just remember that. Some of us are good people. Some of those good people are in this room right now.
Is there a current event that I don't know about? Is there some big debate as to whether gamers are terrible people?
No. I'm just saying that there's been maybe some illusions. I would never talk about it on a personal. I don't think there's any Twitter events going on. And if I was aware of any, I certainly would not ally myself with such an event.
I will bring it down from the inside.
What are we talking about?
I'm just saying.
Well, can you type it in the chat? Like, give me a little.
I'm so I feel so uninformed. I didn't know about.
All right, look,
I'll inform
that was
you.
a big hate fest drama, and I have nothing to do with it.
Long story short, there was just an article in the press that said a lot of gamers are pretty shitty. And that's the only thing I'm talking about. There's no big event. There's nothing exciting going on. There's just one article that hurt my feelings a little bit. So I wanted to use this as a soapbox to remind you guys, everybody that watches and everybody that's in this chat room right now, to just be nice to each other. It's not that hard. It's the preferable way to do it. Wasn't it the Dalai Lama who said that your job in this life is to be kind to others, and if you can't do that, at least do no harm?
I don't know. I can't even begin to understand. I don't know. I have no idea.
Wasn't it Martin Luther King Jr. that said, "I have a dream about a white girl"? Wait, no, that's the wrong dream. Hold on. Had a different dream. I gotta go, guys. I love you. I'll try to pop back on if I can, and if not, I'd love to be on another week. I'm sorry that I screwed this one up. You guys have a great night.
Thank you, Boogie.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So instead of being nice, I think we should read through that article and mock it ruthlessly. Because I'll fulfill, the half of gamers who are apparently off. God, what a pandering article to even write.
Let me see. Do you have a link for it?
No, but I'm just going based on the topic, or at least based on what Boogie was responding to. It sounded like it was a really douchey article. I don't know.
Looking, there's
Actually,
a Gamergate.
Pull up correctly.
There's a Gamergate Wikipedia page.
Well, were we supposed to say that? Because he typed it.
Nobody can stop us.
Haha!
I think
Actually, he was wrong. 75% of gamers are assholes.
I think he was
At
trying
least
to
85%.
He was trying to counter Gamergate without giving it more attention.
Oh.
I think that was his idea.
Big mistake. Let's talk Gamergate, whatever that is.
Gamergate.
It looks like there might be an article in Forbes.
Sounds like contrived nonsense.
Everyone's
Sounding like they're trying to pander to women and minorities and any group that could even begin to think that they're victimized in the sphere of gaming.
Is there communist involvement?
There is. There's communism involved.
Gays?
And certainly Jews.
Oh. So this article is far too long to read in the format of this show. I mean, it's like like I'd be willing to do it. Are you laughing at me?
No, I was laughing with Kyle.
He's laughing at the face I made when he said Jews. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the article. I mean, I bet it prints out to like 9 or 10 pages. I don't think people would want that, but
No. We should continue to make fun of what we think it is, though. It's easier.
yeah, let's make up other things that it could be. Is there a TLDR?
that gamers are misogynerds, that they are social justice warriors, which sounds like a misguided positive thing, though.
Misogynerds?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not even good. That's not even a good combination of words.
I want to hear Arnold Schwarzenegger say that word. Misogynerd.
Well, that would certainly get the movement more traction.
I would like that. No, seriously though, that sounds about right though. I mean, you guys have played fucking Call of Duty. Like, you know who's on there. Like, I can remember. I knew better than to play at certain times of the day because there'd be little British kids on, and I mean little kids, like they sound tiny, and I still remember that little cocksucker with his silenced Uzi fucking with me on Countdown.
Dude, I'll say this about British people. Yeah, like we had a lot of pride in how good America is at like breaking shit. British people hurt your feelings. Like they got that. If I'm called a cunt, that guy's probably British, right? Americans don't break out the long daggers that quickly.
It's not a big deal to them. Cunt isn't that bad of a swear word to them.
What's really bad for them? Dentist.
Fluoride? Is that taboo over there?
I
Boy,
have no room
you're
to-
acting like a right dentist right now.
I'm laughing at people's teeth. I have no room. But what was I gonna say? Just that they are good with the insults, quick with the wit, and while I would argue that perhaps the best Americans could mix it up with them, perhaps I'm not one of them. And yeah, if a guy's British, back the fuck off. It's like you don't get into a rap war with Eminem. You don't get into trash talk with a Brit. Don't do it. You'll get fucked up.
Yeah, I haven't read the article, nor do I care to. But if the overall consensus of the thing is that most online gamers are kind of misogynerds, then yeah. I mean,
It's not just that.
I mean, Boogie
maybe-
just admitted that. He was like, maybe 60 or 70% or whatever he said. But
They should say
Yeah,
just
most
mean.
of them.
They're just mean. Not toward any specific group more than others. For the most part, there are some, but for the most part, people are just mean online. And I feel like it's just certain groups don't expect that they're above it, and certain groups feel like, they shouldn't talk to me like that. And
I think
then
some groups are just better at being offended. Because, for example, like if you're a girl and you go online, you take a lot of crap from people, and you're like, that really sucks. Girls can't go online. Or if you're black and you go online, you take a lot of crap from people for that reason. But I promise you, if you're old and you go online, you take a lot of crap for that, reason too. And no one gets to say like, oh, it's just impossible to be online when you're over 30. Like,
no, it's because they don't expect to be catered to all the time. And not that these other groups or people do. It's just that you gotta expect to get made fun of online. It's gonna happen. People are dicks. They'll find out a reason to be mean to you.
what group would you say likes to be catered to the most, Taylor?
Oh.
Go ahead, pick an enemy. Pick an enemy. People from 4chan. Say it. Say it.
No.
What race of people would you say like the most, Tayller?
Well, it's really offensive, and a lot of people are going to be pissed, but I would have to say the South Vietnamese. They really just can't take a joke, those guys. And so many of them online. Dude, I'm not going down the path you're trying to bait me down. That's
I knew what you'd do. I knew you'd do that. I knew you'd be the South Vietnamese.
Yeah, no, that's his go-to.
No. But I will say that like, if you speak up online and you're, very clearly black or a woman or of a certain ethnicity, then you've basically just like narrowed down their term selection for being mean to you.
Yeah.
And so in that way it can seem much more poignant because it's like instead of having to sift through a bunch of stuff to see what sticks, Whereas if it's just like some normal, person online where you can
Cocksucking
kinda just
motherfucker.
make fun of, you make fun of them for a while, see what sticks, and you stick with that. But if it's
Yeah.
these groups, it just has a slew of things you just say right off the bat. So I can see how that would get aggravating.
I
Just the
really
triteness of
enjoy it when they insult me, but they're off target in their accusations. Like
Yeah.
if they call me a nigger, I'm like that. Like I'm particularly pleased by that one. Like how did you know? You're very good at this.
What else do they mistake you for? Like, young man, you should go to bed. Or, sounds like you could still be in school.
Right. I get called a girl a lot, young, black. Yeah, it just goes on and on. Gay is a good one. Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I guess I
I have
vibe gay.
family.
That's my
really-
beard.
I got proof.
Yeah.
Get in here.
Yeah, right. Hope,
Tell
tell him.
Tell Jimmy 14 Dragon Slayer R that I am not a homosexual. I procreated. Honey, tell him.
Yeah.
Well, there was that one time. God damn it.
So I was reading about 4chan. You know what? I'm on 4chan from time to time. I've just taken an interest in the gun section of 4chan/K. And it's if you go to 4chan and you don't know the culture of it, and I know I'm talking about something I'm not supposed to talk about, whatever. It sounds terrible. It sounds like Xbox Live talk. But if you know the 4chan culture and you're able to roll with the punches and not get offended by anything, then you realize like, oh, that anonymity. I can't say the word right now. Anonymity. Help me
There's
out
two
again.
more N's in there. Anonymity.
Anonymity. All right, I guess I was pretty close. It allows people to say anything, and it creates like a more true human emotion that doesn't have boundaries, and that the boundaries that you have in there can be just as insulting as the lack of truth. And I don't know, like now I just see the whole 4chan interactions in a different way than I used to. Being called a faggot or a nigger on 4chan just doesn't mean the same thing that it means elsewhere. And I think that happens in Xbox, and then you get some guy from Forbes, I'll guess, or whatever, that doesn't understand the culture, and suddenly they're like, gamers are really mean. Like, no, it's not as mean-spirited as you think. It's just a sort of anonymous culture.
You know what the worst thing is that all these poor victims, they're forced at gunpoint to sit there at their computer and continue to browse those forums and continue to leave their mics on and not back out of the lobbies. And it's unforgivable. The fact that they have no control over their destiny and can't avoid it in any way, saddening. Absolutely saddening.
I guess. I don't know. Somehow with the, like, I agree with that for the forums and I don't for the gaming. Like,
Just mute people.
Yeah, you can do that, though. You
Mute.
can do that. You can mute.
Very simple solutions. The only people who are going to continue to get mad at that are people who are looking for a reason to get mad. Because if you really genuinely don't like it, then you're going to do everything you can to avoid it.
When I played a lot of COD, I only muted like the biggest dicks that you'd find. It was always interesting when they join my lobby and they're pre-muted. I'm like, I wonder what that fucker did.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too. That's really funny, and that just showed how much COD 4 I played because I'd run into them quite frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd see them. Like, oh, there that guy is again. So now that we've discussed something that we really probably shouldn't have talked about, because not only did Boogie not want us to, but I don't think we know anything about it. But if Forbes wrote an article that says that gamers are mostly assholes, then they're mostly true, but they're partially wrong.
Yeah. In all seriousness, they're probably right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it is just a vicious kind of culture.
It's hard to meet nice people online.
Mm-hmm. I found two right here, though. You guys are just a couple of sweeties.
God.
Oh, that's
between
when we got
Boogie
the
and
that's when
Merca,
we've all
I
got the
got
matching
hooked.
rings and everything. Can we do that? Can we get matching rings or at least tattoos?
How
Tats,
about
yes.
pendants for our necklaces?
Yeah. No.
What if?
All right,
what
I
if,
got it. I
no,
got
no,
it.
no, no. This. We all got a letter right here on our arms right here, so that we could put our arms together, and it was PKA. Let's do that. Like big gothic letters.
I could do one
taking up-
better. They should say RSK.
Oh, that's not cool. No, I can't. The Rape Squad Killers is just too politically incorrect to be
If I'm
devoting
being honest,
body
I
art
still
to.
don't know what that is. I still don't even know.
So the
I was
Rape
not
Squad
around for
Killers.
that.
So what happened was I had this idea for a prank phone call that we would call a sort of convenience store type place, grocery store, and I basically called and said,
Was
"Hey,
that your idea?
yeah."
In my memory, it was mine. We need a PKA historian to see.
You can go back and watch it real quick. I think you thanked me for the idea in the.
Did I? You know what? Yeah. My memory is old and rusty. Let's just go with yours.
In any case, I called the guy and I said, "Hey, I'm driving toward your store. I'm with a few of my friends, and we need to pick up a few items. We each have a couple items that we're responsible for tonight, so I'm going to have to pass the phone around. Is that okay? Because I want him to understand what's going on." And then basically we passed the phone around to each member of the Skype call, and we asked for a different item from a rape and murder kit, and they get progressively more obvious. So at first, maybe
latex
you need
gloves.
Some gloves or some rope or something like that.
Did you say we were calling a drugstore? We called a drugstore, and then if you're paying attention to the shopping list, it unfolds as a rape kit. So it's like, do you have any latex gloves? Yeah. Do you have any zip ties? Yeah, we've got that. Do you have like a mask?
Butcher's knife.
Yeah, like a mask, and they didn't have it. We're like, we can wear pantyhose. We can wear. Yeah. Do you have any pantyhose? And then you're like, as you're listening to this, you're like, and then like, do you have any knives? And like, if you just keep paying attention, you can see that we're building a rape and murder kit, and that was and then
at the end of it, I said something like, we'll be there soon. Make sure you've got our items ready. And then I think Bash or somebody said, yeah, don't keep us waiting. You don't want to see us when we're angry. And I think I said I went rape squad kill us, and everybody kind of laughed, and I was like, but don't get intimidated by that. That's our church league softball team. That's who we're the rape squad. We're the rape squad killers.
And after it hung up, we were so pleased with ourselves. I remember Kyle was like, "We're forever known as the rape squad killers," and somehow a tea kettle became our symbol. I don't know why, but that was the thing. And that's how that was born. And there was a Rape Squad Killer subreddit that we played with for a while, and I don't know, it was just whatever. It was one of the things.
I can't think of a worse thing to attach yourself to than the name Rape Squad Killers. Think of something more negative.
I could think of. And
yeah.
It was I was like, what is the worst thing I can think of that I could just name us? And it was a squad of guys who rape and kill.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've got it. What if you were?
They're motivated and they're professional. They rape and kill.
Coney.
What if you were the country killing clan, like country as in rural, and you spelled all letters with a K?
K.
Yeah.
It's a little overdone. I think there's another group with that already.
Do we only kill blacks and Jews? Is that the thing? Like, is it racist killings?
Or is it just copying?
I was just trying to be our own KKK. Maybe it didn't work.
I don't know. I mean, they got their own thing over there. Grand Wizard and hoods and holes in them and such. They got a well-run organization.
We could be the Krispy Kreme killers and go and motivate heavy people into losing weight, like we have in a lot of episodes recently.
I would like to do the opposite. And I would like to roll up into like fat camps. No, yeah, with one of those guns that shoots the shirts into the crowd, but Krispy Kreme donuts in that. Boom! And just
hitting right in their mouth. It's firing so hard, it's like giving them black eyes and knocking them out, not even eating them.
Yeah,
I'd like to go in
really
there.
Magnum-powered Krispy Kreme gun. Like every time you launch a fucking donut, you're just.
I like where you're going with this, right? Like instead of a flamethrower, we should have like a gigantic whipped cream flower that just like coats the people with whipped cream.
Like imagine Ghostbusters 2 except it's whipped cream. Like
Ghostbusters. Yeah, that's good. Good.
It kind of you said powdered sugar. It reminded me. My favorite part of Super Troopers is when like the bad cops, like the police, have captured Farva, and they've hosed him down with the hose naked, and then they start throwing powder on him, and you assume that it's a delousing agent. Yeah. And they're like, he goes, "Sorry about the delousing." He goes, "It's powdered sugar." The guy goes, "The lice hate the sugar." It's complete bullshit. He said they just wanted to powder sugar this motherfucker for the fun of it. And so instead of they didn't delouse him, they powder sugared him. That's one hell of a movie. It's a shame that what is it, Broken Lizard or something like that, than what those guys call themselves. They're like a comic troupe, I suppose. But they made that movie and a few more. They made like Beer League, or was it Beer League? It was the one where they like were going to another country to.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I
Beer
can't remember
Fest,
the name
maybe?
though. No,
Beer
Beer
Fest.
Fest was different, right? Or maybe it was Beer Fest. I don't know.
Might have been whatever. They made a couple of movies, but nothing nearly as good as Super Troopers, which I feel if you've never seen Super Troopers, you are really missing a great, great comedy film. Go watch Super Troopers. It is fucking incredible. It's one of the funniest movies ever.
Yeah.
They don't.
Who did their homework for the week and watched The Master? Who found time in a week to watch a movie? I did. Oh!
There's something wrong with this.
Well then, Woody, you glance over the synopsis while Kyle and I chat.
So, last week someone came up with the bright idea. I believe it was an AMA question. One of our Patreon members. We'll go over some more AMA questions later this episode, I think. But his question wasn't so much a question, but it was a suggestion that we do sort of a PKA movie of the week. The hosts all watch the movie. Hopefully some of the fans join in and watch the movie. And then at the end of the week, we come back, talk about what we thought about it. So the first ever episode was The Master, a movie from about a year or two ago with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Joaquin Phoenix, and Amy Adams, where Philip Seymour Hoffman basically plays a cult leader who in the 1950s, and Joaquin Phoenix plays a World War II veteran who's been addled by the war and also by a strange concoction that he mixes that includes alcohol and paint thinner and
Turpentine and a bunch of stuff. And he's also
Yeah.
just a straight up alcoholic, a regular alcoholic.
Yeah, he
gets-
suffers from delusions and just really really crazy social issues. What did you think about the movie? All right, let's start. Did you like
Okay.
it? Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it for one time. It was good. It was way too long and meandering at parts. Like the whole first half hour of the movie, I liked it because I like Philip Seymour Hoffman. And I thought Joaquin Phoenix was good, even though I'm not like a huge fan of him or anything. But I was interested and kept going. But then about half hour in, I'm like, what the hell is this about? What the fuck's happening? Like, is something gonna occur that makes like? It seems like they kind of thought about. They started making the movie before they figured out quite what it was about.
So they alluded to him having some sort of sex addiction, obviously, with his Rorschach testing and he what he did with that sandcastle woman and all of that. And there was the odd relationship with the 16-year-old girl, and I didn't understand who she actually was. There was a lot, but there's a lot of parts like that and a lot of facets of the movie that you never truly understand. They're just presented to you as is, just like real life is. So if you took a peek into my life one day, you'd be like, but wait, who's that person you just talked to on the phone? Who's that? I don't understand. And that's how the movie felt at times. It felt that unlike a traditional screenplay where they're like, well, this is where we give the nod to the audience that the character is gay or that the character's angry or that his wife is cheating on him or whatever. This is where we like, hey, check this out, pay attention. There wasn't any of that. It was more like real life, and that you had to just be like, I don't know, maybe they don't like each other now. Like there were some confusing bits. Like we never learned where he came up with this crazy drink concoction that he served
I thought that was going to
himself.
be revealed, and I was really kind of pissed when it wasn't.
Yeah, we don't know how he learned to make it. We don't know exactly what's in it. We don't know what it really is. We
so
never
to go to the
learned.
sand part in the beginning,
I'm lost.
This is one of the first scenes that he's in there. Is it shows him in his army days. I think it was his army days, and he's around a bunch of his military friends on a beach, and they made a sandcastle, but it's in the shape of a woman, and she's naked, pretty lewd. You can see a sand vagina and the sand boobs and all that. And he's laying there, and he goes over and starts humping it at first, and everybody's like, aha! And then he does it for like a little too long, and it becomes clear, like, okay, so
And then he
he's the
gets
guy
up and
that
kind of does
everybody
the
else.
motion. At first, it's all for
Yeah.
fun, and then he gets up and does he's like, ha, doing the motion like he's jerking off on it, and then he like gets
Puts his
into
hand
it a
in his
little
pants
bit,
or something, and is
he
like getting into it.
Like he realizes that now he's actually turned on, and he's just like, and he like walks away and just turns his back to everyone like a few yards down the beach and just jerks off. And
Yeah.
it's alluded to that he's a sex addict. And what I was getting at with the concoction he makes this drink that sends him into like these delusions and this really inebriated state. And he makes it, and he serves it to Philip Seymour Hoffman's character too. Like that's one of the ways they bond is through this drink. And did it seem a lot like Scientology to you?
It did. I did like the interview he did, and how over time it kind of showed like, okay, so this guy, like, this is actually how a cult would work. Like, they're using techniques that would work on people who are already convinced that they know the truth. So like the arguments he was making with that one guy who like invaded in their little clubhouse and was like, oh yeah, you're not really, a godly man. This is all made up. You're being false. And all the arguments that Philip Seymour Hoffman made in the presence of his cult followers, they weren't convincing to anyone other than people who want to believe and have a presupposition about what reality is.
Yeah.
And so it really, that was my favorite part, was just seeing how, oh, so this is real, like how these kind of arguments would win people over only if they're already convinced, which is why these cults after like a point just kind of stay the critical mass and don't just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think I liked it. I'm glad that I watched it. I'll never watch it again. And if I recommend it to somebody, it would only be if they were a big Philip Seymour Hoffman or Joaquin Phoenix fan, and it would be with the advice going in that this is a long film that meanders at times and is a bit difficult to wrap your head around. But if you want to see some really strong acting and some scenes that are just really powerful, like there's a point when Joaquin Phoenix he thinks he's being initiated into the religion or like unlocking past lives or something, I think. But in reality, it seems a lot more like brainwashing, where he closes his eyes and walks from one end of the room to the other with his hands out. And on one end is a pane of glass on a window that he touches, and then he describes what he feels. And then as soon as he does it, he does a 180 and touches a wooden wall and describes what he feels. And he does this for like 2 days straight until when he touches the glass, he's like, I see the stars and the galaxies and the universe, and I can touch them all. And they're like, yeah, you're insane now. Like, you've just been brainwashed.
Yeah. And basically,
So
like, Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think, kept him around so he could escalate the crazy a little bit. So then when everybody else saw that Joaquin Phoenix was doing, like, I can see the stars and all that, they were like, oh, shit, I can't, like, this is real because Philip Seymour Hoffman's agreeing with him. So this is like the next
Maybe
step.
so.
I can't
Maybe
let this guy get ahead of me. I got to be just as progressive in this nonsense as he is. So then they were all like, I can feel the oceans too, or whatever's going on. But,
It was
overall it was good. You could skip the first 20 and the last 20 minutes and see the same movie basically.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Although
like, literally that amount.
I feel like there's a scene at the end when he finally goes back to the town and he goes to that house. I feel like that scene's important.
Yeah.
So
I feel
maybe
like they skipped over quite a bit of stuff that could have been interesting.
It feels like a poorly edited film. That's what it feels like. It feels like they could have cut a lot of stuff out, and it feels like they cut a few things that they shouldn't have, and we're left with an incomplete narrative. And because of that, it's difficult to even understand the characters and understand their motivations. I think I understand Amy Adams' character. I understand. I don't understand Joaquin Phoenix's character though. He's the one.
No.
I don't understand him at all.
They
I don't
didn't explain him
understand
enough. There wasn't enough backstory. It was just kind of a weird allusion to the fact that, oh, there was this girl that I used to love, and she's way back here. And Philip Seymour Hoffman, during his, cult interview with Joaquin Phoenix, is like, why didn't you go back for her? Why didn't you go back for her? Asking the same questions over and over like cults apparently do. And you think that the first scene of them doing the interview, and Joaquin Phoenix talking about the girl he loved back in Maryland or whatever the fuck, you feel like that's going to be answered later in the movie, and it's just never addressed. Just like the sex addiction, just like the alcoholic drink, and really, the more I'm talking about it now, the more I'm realizing I enjoyed it, but not. The only reason I did is because I Hoffman.
Yeah,
because as
too.
a whole, like if it were anybody else, that movie wouldn't stand up at all. So if you don't like him, don't watch this movie because you hate him.
That was Ed Harris instead of Philip Seymour Hoffman. A very talented actor. It'd be a shitty movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman makes the film. Feels poorly edited. I would give it I don't know, one of these, right? Like there's a lot of stuff I like, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like. So I don't know. Watch at your own caution. So we need to find a new film. I think I think we should pick something from Netflix because that's really easy for all our fans to do as well.
Did it bother you how Joaquin Phoenix talked in that movie when he was just kind of
he does have that hair lip, and I think maybe he was trying to accentuate that, and also to confuse the viewer, which he was successful at.
Yeah, it was really frustrating the first few scenes where, I mean, it's great.
Where the
when you
motherfucker can't speak. Like your main character, like is accentuating his hair lip lisp, and you can't understand him, and he's kind of speaking in like a voice that starts back here somewhere, and it's all hollow and
the first 15 minutes of him is completely incomprehensible. I had no idea what was happening.
Dude, what the fuck was up with that photographer scene? The photography scene when he freaked out on that guy and like kept holding the light closer to him.
Yeah, that wasn't explained either.
There was
nothing was explained.
Burst of violence in the beginning of the film, like random violence against a customer that is completely unexplained.
Yeah. He went from, they jumped from him basically sodomizing a sand woman on the beach to being a photographer in like an old-timey Macy's looking place, and he's taking pictures of a guy and goes over to, adjust the light because old-timey hot lights, and he kept moving it closer to the guy's face, and the guy's like, dude, it's getting hot. So they get in the huge altercation, start punching and fighting, and then it just ends, and there's no more talk of this.
Yeah.
No talk of it, no discussion.
Never discussed again.
And
just
like,
odd.
Did you notice like the 4 different scenes? Because it wasn't just him, like with the alcoholic beverage with poison in it that he gave Philip Seymour Hoffman and other people. He like actually killed a guy with it at one point at some,
migrant
siesta,
camp.
some Mexican party that he like crashed and convinced this old guy to drink it. And later the old guy dies and he just runs away and a bunch of people chase him once again.
They chase him out of there.
Yeah, they chase him out of there because they know he poisoned him. And then it doesn't just show him mixing like little things. He like has a lab equipment and like a big beaker, and he's like pouring stuff.
Like he's making meth.
So at first you're like, wow, he's not just making a drink. There's something to this. This is gonna explain something.
At first, I thought that this guy like had some absinthe or something. Like that's the type of thing we had. Like maybe it was like a couple kinds of booze plus like some sort of like mushrooms or acid or I don't know what. Something
anything
I've heard of before. But no. He's like got some kind of crazy chemical mixture he's mixed it up and given people. All right, it's time to pick the next film, and I would like to nominate a film called Chaplin. It is the Charlie Chaplin story, and Robert Downey Jr. plays Charlie Chaplin.
I like your choice. I've been looking at choices too while you guys were talking. There's one called You're Next. It's a horror film.
Also Anthony Hopkins.
Wait, that he had American Anthony Hopkins is in it, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I can't scroll enough to find it. Are you sure?
Positive.
So Your Next is on
it's on Netflix. Yeah, I googled for like top Netflix movies. There were a couple I liked. You're Next, and then others I had liked but seen before. Heathers comes to mind. American Psycho comes to mind. Then there was another.
I want to do one that.
Oh, Adventureland.
Also, Dan Aykroyd and Marissa Tomei.
Wait, are you talking about your movie?
Yeah, and Diane Lane and James Woods.
That explains it. Because I thought you were talking about my movie, and I was like,
talking about mine.
I swear he's wrong, but he's so sure.
All right, well then, what's Chaplin about?
Charlie
Chaplin. It's like a biography.
Oh.
To me, it's like I've heard it's really good, and if Robert Downey Jr. decided to pick it, then it's like I kind of trust his judgment. But I couldn't be less interested in Charlie Chaplin.
Okay, all right. Hey, I'm gonna change mine because this movie's too long. It's a very good movie. If I would push Chaplin hard on anybody, but it's 2 hours and 23 minutes. So let me go back to the drawing board on mine.
In the Loop has James Gandolfini.
I know what I want to see. Hang on. Diggstown.
With a D, you saying? Diggstown?
Yeah, 2 G's. Diggstown. One word. That's
mine. Boxing movie?
Yeah.
Michael Ritchie, James Woods. You in a James Woods mood?
I saw James Woods in the last one, and I was like, oh, Diggstown.
I mean, I still
54%
vote for You're Next. I don't know if I can get any other votes for it, but I'd love to see a good killing home invasion movie.
And if it's a bad horror movie, those are fun to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm open for Kyle's idea. I don't want to seem like I'm some sort of tyrant.
No, I picked the last one. I strongly recommend Digstown too, especially if you like fighting movies and if you think James Woods is funny.
A fighting, like fist fighting type movie with no weapons?
Yeah. It's so the premise of the movie is that I may be a little bit wrong here, but basically James Woods ends up in this crazy bet with this wealthy, basically owns a town and like runs the whole town himself, like he's the mayor and the sheriff or whatever and everything. And the bet is that he knows a fighter that could beat up any like 10 men in that town, and the mayor like took it as a literal bet, and so he has to go dig up this old boxer, and he literally like starts training, and he has to fight the 10 best men in the town. So he like in one night boxing matches one after another. So it's good.
That does sound pretty cool. Probably not going to watch it.
That sounded, for me, I was unsold on it. Like, really? A 10v1 boxing?
Well, it's one at a time, and each one is a different kind of guy, and there's a lot of jokes and funny stuff going on too. But what's this movie you said? You're Next?
You're Next, yeah. So, let's see. It was far better than the more successful The Purge in that they cleverly subvert the home invasion norms rather than mindlessly submitting you to obvious tropes. With a strong, sly sense of humor, screenwriter Simon Barrett, with the help of the film's excellent cast, takes everything you know from movies of the aforementioned The Strangers, Toys with Expectations. The masked intruders aren't unstoppable killing machines. No victims get tied to any chairs to be sadistically tortured. And finally, one of the victims actually fights back. I don't know.
Sounds like they were being lazy. No torture, no unkillable monster.
Let's see. When Vincent's character Aaron attacks the bad guys with screwdrivers and other home improvement weaponry, it's a rush, often played brilliantly for laughs. Other home invasion movies are too maliciously one note to yield that kind of reaction. It sounds, I don't know, I'm down, but I'm also flexible.
I will watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Let's switch up genres every week. Last week we watched a meandering tale of nonsense, and this week we'll watch a bad horror movie.
I hope it's good. I mean, I like a good home
invasion. It's not going to be good.
Really?
It's not going to be good.
It said
but
it
it'll
was
be funny.
right on the internet.
Yeah.
Said it was, and they wouldn't just go on the internet and tell lies.
No, who would do that?
What's the Rotten Tomatoes score?
74. So higher than you would think for a horror movie.
No way.
Yeah, that's actually really high
I'm
for
sold.
horror.
I'm sold then. Okay.
All right. You're Next. It looks like it came out in 2013. YOU_RE Next. And you can check it, and then you won't be lost next PKA Movie Talk.
Yeah. It's got a higher tomato meter critic rating than audience rating.
That's not
Isn't
always
that rare?
good.
Isn't it usually the other way around?
I'm more of an audience guy, but I still would like to see it. I have a new topic. So, I don't know how to... I have an interest in X-Jaws. I sometimes wonder, right? Because, like, even though his path isn't a straight line to successful adult, I still find him fascinating. And I just realized he's active on Instagram. Have you guys ever checked out his Instagram?
Never
not
really gone
lately.
on.
I can show you. It's if other people want to see it, he's Sam or XJaws on Instagram. And based on what he's sharing here, he's leading, I guess what he's targeting a super healthful life. Like he's got these like pork chops and asparagus and kebabs of some
pork chops?
It's rare for me to eat
A
red
picture
flesh.
of health.
But when I do, I don't eat much carbohydrates.
Sam's the worst Jew.
He's just not good at
he was
Jewing.
Jewish.
My current regimen, for those wondering, is 1 magnesium, calcium, zinc, 4 vitamin C 500 milligrams, 2 advanced probiotics, 1 total eye care complex, 2 memory support complex, 1 green tea complex, coenzyme Q12 200 milligrams, 2 mood sleep support complex, 1 vitamin D 2,000 milligrams, vitamin B complex 100, digestive matrix enzymes for use with each meal, 1 astanexin 4 milligrams, 1 DHEA, I'm almost done, 25 milligrams youth hormone, 2 times anti-aging complex, 2 times 5 HTP 100 milligrams. I'm also considering adding blood pressure support supplement and green coffee bean extract, but I'm not as familiar with those.
I linked you to a picture of all that.
Yeah, it's that's the caption I was reading. You know what? I can drag this on screen so people watching on non. This is what he takes. Daily, I presume. He doesn't quite say daily. It just says it's his current regimen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's a lot of stuff to be taken.
Yeah. And I
mean, if
know
you want
that...
to, fine. You're post all that out anyway, because it's a supplement, not
now some
just...
things, like you're saying, like you can't take too much of it. I'm not enough of an expert to tell you which is which, but some things you can't take too much of. Your body just won't absorb it, and it'll pass it, and it'll be no big deal. Other things you can have too much of, and I don't know...
Yeah. Too much anti-aging complex, and you can develop Benjamin Button disease.
If only.
Woody would be all over that. Yeah, I don't understand. That's just... I mean, it's fine.
See how you look when you're 7,000.
Doesn't seem like... It seems like that's just too much to be taken.
I really feel out of my element. Like, I don't know. I can see he's eating, like, bowls full of blueberries and raspberries, and it looks like some sort of avocado tomato meal. It's hard to tell if this is every day. I mean, this is what he shares of himself, not necessarily, like, who he is. Is that him DJing some giant gig in top center? Like, I guess it looks like him to me, but it's a picture from the back, so it can't be positive. But yeah, Sam's active on Instagram, and
great.
based on
like
Instagram, a huge part of his interest at the set seems to be what he's eating. That, or he's just following like stereotypical, I share what I eat on the internet thing.
Yeah, which I love to follow what people eat. What did people do in the 80s, Woody, before that? Like live their own lives? Yeah, before anybody comments on it or something, I just took a hard stance on the supplement thing just for the sake of it. But it's fine to take that many if you want. It's just I'd be curious to know how many of those are like herbal, homeopathic. That's right. Supplements, and how many are like kind of at least more proven. Because I know Joe Rogan talks about a bunch of that stuff. Some of it sounded familiar, but it could be like a different brand. I don't know. But yes. It almost just seems like those multivitamins are too good to be true with how much like they promise.
I've got a thing that might be funny.
What's that?
So we have to do our SquareSpace ad, and I have found the SquareSpace song. It's only 90 seconds long. I say we listen to it.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
All right. Are you guys ready? Are we timed up?
I'm
Queued
cute.
up at 0?
I didn't realize there was a link. I am now.
All right. Taylor?
Yep.
Ready, set, play.
It's the all-in-one platform. Makes it fast and easy to create. You can start with 20 highly customizable templates to make your own professional website.
Bug fighting templates.
Online portfolio. Industry-leading support at just $8 a month.
I can't tell if this is good or terrible.
It's not good.
SquareSpace.
Oh, I like it.
Started today. Make the website that you want to make. SquareSpace.
So
It's like he has peanut butter under his upper lip between that teeth.
No way, I like it.
Fund all your favorite podcasts. So start your free trial. No credit card required. All responsive design. Every device, every time. All the options you need to create.
You watch bug fighting on your phone.
Website, they're constantly improving the platform and the tools, and it's awesome. SquareSpace, get started today. Make a website
Did they
that
hire
you
him
want
for
to
this?
make. SquareSpace, so
God, I hope
easy
so.
and fast. They fund
I hope
all
not.
your
It makes makes it more excited or funny.
I imagine a big crowd. Everybody clapping.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
He's just kind of having a little bit of a
looking at me
Parkinson's
spooky.
maneuver at the end.
He tucks away. I have this like in my head. They're like, "Hey, I want to do a jingle," and some guy in HR raises his hand, saying, "Like, I can sing. I can sing." Like they didn't hire
Hey,
him.
I've got a gay cousin who'd love to do that.
Can he sing? Not really. He kind of talks into the microphone, and his buddy's he can kind of mix them together. We'll make it work. That was okay. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't. I like
No,
it.
it
It's
was-
kind of catchy.
Better than I could do.
I swear I've heard that. I've heard that song
I've
like
heard it
4
3
times
times
now.
now.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's good or bad. I can't quite put my finger on it.
You know what is good though? SquareSpace.
Yes, indeed.
Everything you
SquareSpace.
said is true. I really am looking forward to perhaps making a SquareSpace website for the bug fighting.
Dude, people are gonna look forward to seeing it. They better hold up too, because when we launch this thing, there's gonna be some people looking at it. Hey, let me read the copy for you guys. We just want everyone to remember that this episode of PKA is brought to you by SquareSpace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website, portfolio, and online store. For a free trial and 10% off, visit squarespace.com and enter PKA as a code at the checkout. A better web starts with your website. It's simple and easy, beautiful design, drag and drop content, 24/7 support through live chat and email. Plans start at $8 a month and include a free domain name if you sign up for a year. Response design, commerce ready. Every site comes with an online store. So whether you're starting a business, building a portfolio, or just expressing yourself online, remember to sign up today. Go to squarespace.com/PKA. That's squarespace.com/PKA. Don't miss out. We're doing it. We're going to put together some bug fights.
Yeah.
I need
As long
to
as I
come
don't
up
have to do much.
I just need to figure. All you have to do is do some voices. I'm thinking of where I'm going to hold my bug fights right now. I'm thinking about bug fighting lighting. It rhymes.
Bug fighting lighting.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments down below.
Lighting them,
What
I
you
think,
think
will
about.
be easy. You just throw a softbox over it if there's no lid. If there's a lid, then all of a sudden things get trickier.
Dude, there's got to be a lid.
You know, if you're going to be a sissy about it, maybe you just shouldn't be in the bug fighting business.
Maybe you'd like to handle
tall
some
is-
of the bug fighting filming, Woody.
Never mind. I take it back. Your
All
way
right,
is a good
this
way.
would be a lid. I'll get a GoPro in there. That's for damn sure.
Oh, why didn't I think of that? Putting a GoPro in there is a brilliant idea.
On a stick, and maybe I could. All right, so imagine this. So the top of the terrarium has a piece of rubber with like a seam in the middle, so that I can have a stick with a GoPro on the end through that seam, so they can't escape, and I can get some crazy close-up angles and stuff. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. You should
All right,
paint
but-
them too.
Going into with the GoPro bug cam.
I would love it if my GoPro case had like a couple African hornet scratches in it. Like I could remember that forever.
Yeah.
This is where it got stung.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get right on that. I'll order my. I guess I'll start ordering bugs. I'm definitely gonna get a scorpion and a spider.
I really
And
think
maybe one of
the big
Squarespace can give us a
millipede.
little budget on this.
I hope so. Now, if they get involved and they think it's a good way to promote Squarespace, then I can put on some real bug fights.
Dude, it'd be awesome.
We
Squarespace,
should-
if you want, you don't even have to let us know. Just ship hundreds of bugs to Kyle's house, and he'll start using them right away.
Surprise!
I guess we need to confirm that bug fighting is legal. Is bug fighting
it
legal?
has to be legal. No way there's a law against bug fighting.
Nobody cares about bugs.
Nobody cares about bugs.
No bug lobbyist.
I don't know, man. Bugs might have lobbyists.
The caring that people have about bugs is ensuring that they get killed. It's like anti-caring.
And as long as you eat them afterward, people won't mind.
I thought it would be funny if, like, at the end, like, when I'm left with a giant tarantula and I'm not going to do any more bug fights, if, like, you just saw my hand, like, reach into the aquarium and just bang! Because that's the only way I'm going to dispose of some of these bugs. Some of these things are so fucking scary. A sand spider, they run 10 miles per hour.
Is that a
And they
camel
look
spider
like-
you mean?
That's the camel spider, yeah.
Camel spider, yeah. They run 10 miles per hour and they are fucking hideous. Look that thing up. It is just a monster, and that's what Chiz wants. Chiz wants a camel spider.
Chiz sees himself as a camel spider. Well, I can get
Yeah.
on board with that. I think he's the biggest member of PKA.
Yeah. I don't know how big camel spiders are though.
Well, I'm
They're
gonna,
just horrifying.
Yeah. There's some nasty YouTube videos of them, like soldiers who found them over in the Middle East. Gross animals.
dude.
Yeah.
This is the internet, so I can't believe everything. But I'm seeing like awful wounds from these camel spiders on humans.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Can you link?
Uh,
Are they like bites or stings? What do they do?
Here's a link. It says the URL you can see. It's only a camel spider.
Oh
What?
shit! I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Dude, we never really even put into thought how dangerous some of these giant bugs might be. If they're like necrotizing flesh venoms,
Yeah, man. I don't need one of those.
order more than one. It's gonna melt the glass in the cage. It's getting out!
I actually suspect that they don't hurt you. Oh, here it says they're not dangerous to humans.
Oh. Well, good.
It's a trick.
Are they dangerous to scorpions?
Here's
That's all
some
that
common camel spider myths. Camel spiders often run at speeds over 30 miles an hour, screaming while they run. They can be as large as a frisbee. Apparently, that's a myth. That their venom is an anesthetic that numbs prey. That they can jump 3 feet high. Here are the facts. They only run 10 miles per hour. Wow.
Only.
They can only be up to 8 inches long. Although many of our repeaters report larger.
They always do.
And that's the last interesting one. I won't bore you with the other ones.
8 inches.
That's a very big bug.
Yeah.
That's a disgustingly big bug. I'm glad they're not coming to where I live. I'm glad they're all getting shipped to Kyle's. Man, you're going to have to buy a big-ass terrarium.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I'm getting a couple of them.
You could do like a Hunger Games style thing where you put a bunch of them up and have like glass cases over them, and then you lift all those at the same time, and there's a cornucopia of sugar cubes and gummy bears in the middle that they have to squabble over.
There's like bug weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a free-for-all for like the 10th episode or something where we just throw like, I don't know, 200 fire ants and like 4 of the scariest bugs ever in there.
That is horrible.
Do as you
And
will. Maybe like throw a bunch of bees in there so they're kind of like air power.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a good idea. Sounds safe.
Do we need a
It
fresh
sounds
topic?
horrifying to me.
We
but
do.
I'm-
Shoot your gun, Kyle.
What?
Yes, Kyle. I wish you'd had the desk popper. Next week,
Oh
maybe?
yeah, she took it home with her. She like she came over the other day and I was like, look what I got you, and it was a joke. It was like, I didn't really get you a fucking cap gun, dummy. And she took the cap gun home. Like she was, I thought you bought it for me. I was like, why would I buy you a cap gun?
This is a girl that you know that took it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she took the fucking cap gun home with her. She thought I actually got it for her. Like no, it's my desktop cap gun.
Well, that explains why you couldn't find it. Next week, desk pops. All right. So, new topic. Microsoft is rumored to be buying Mojang, Minecraft, for $2 billion.
$2 billion.
Yeah,
That's
I've
crazy.
seen.
$2
It's
billion?
been reported on reputable places like Wall Street Journal, for example. But no one seems to have like a reputable source or like like a real lockdown or an official comment from either Microsoft or Mojang. But I'm reading it everywhere. They're talking about doing it. I have my own theory. It's not that groundbreaking, but I'm pretty sure Notch doesn't like running Mojang anymore. As soon as he started going after server owners, obviously server owners weren't happy, and I'll be biased from that standpoint. But also, like everyone who's been a customer of the server owner was angry too. You know that they invested in a server and made them special. They had extra names next to their IGN and stuff like that, and then Mojang wanted to take that away from everyone. So server owners, not me, but I know other server owners, started encouraging their players to fuss directly towards Mojang. Someone sent Notch like dead black flowers and stuff like that, black balloons, and he tweeted out like, does anyone want to buy Mojang? I have no interest in I think he said, I have no interest in getting hated on for doing the right thing or something very close to that. And that's about when the talks with Microsoft started, according to these rumors. I think Notch just went from being universally loved to mixed and decided, why am I doing this? Why am I taking all this?
You really said, why am I taking all this hate for doing everything right?
It was something very close to that.
That's kind of douchey. That's kind of a douchey thing to say. Why is everybody just picking on me? I have only a few $1 billion to myself, and everybody's being mean. Like, just don't make a scene about it. Sell it if you don't like it. Like, what kind of hate? Well, I guess I don't follow the Minecraft community at all, but was he getting significant hate? Because from what I could tell, everybody seemed to like his game for some weird reason.
He got, people were fussing at him. They didn't like what he was doing there. I'm trying to see if I can. Let's see. It would have been like July. I'm looking for it.
Don't you kind of agree that's a douchey thing to say though? Like, I'm doing everything right and I'm tired of getting hate for that. Like, it's like you're begging, you're playing your cards so that a bunch of people are gonna be like, no, you know what you're doing? You stick with it. You know, keep on keeping on, buddy. Like, you're just fishing at that point.
Okay, I'll answer since you asked twice. Yes, clearly it's douchey. And
yeah.
I think I've been that douchey before too, so I should not be the one that
that
calls him
douchey.
douchey. I'm pretty douchey. You know, like I've been trying to adopt an absolute zero like fussing response policy, and I guess I just broke it right here, but not really. Anyway, yeah. So I see where he's coming from, but that. You know, it's easy to look at someone with a lot of money and be like, how can you be unhappy? My biggest problem doesn't even enter your life. But people will just take whatever their current problems are, escalate them to their biggest ones, and have to deal with that. That's how people go. I can't find the exact quote, but I'm really close there.
So it's definitely being sold for $2 billion. That's ridiculous.
No, definite is a stretch. Maybe I need to check his replies. Definite is a stretch, but it's been reported.
Lol, JK.
It's widely reported. And then, of course, I don't know if he owns 100% of Mojang. I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure other people have options and things like that. I can't find the tweet. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like he's selling it for $2 billion. I suspect it's just a matter of, you know what? Screw this. If it's no more fun to run Mojang, then I'll just take my $2 billion and buy a boat. And in my opinion, like, yeah, why not? You know, that makes perfect sense. So
does that company do anything but Minecraft, or is it just Minecraft?
Barely. You know, I have my issues with the company. They do run some other games. I think there's one called something Scrolls. Minecraft is by far their runaway hit. And they often say, like, you know what, people act like we're not indie anymore, but the truth is we only have like 8 people working on Minecraft, or it's more like 15, but that's what they say. And maybe of active developers, the number is like 8. But in my head, that's not a selling point. Like, the fact that you're still indie when you get, like, you're getting Activision money and you literally have 2 fucking people running support. This is the most widely sold PC game in the history of gaming. No one has ever sold more copies of a game, I think maybe for any platform ever in the history of mankind. And they're like, we only have 8 people working here. Right, fucker? Because you're taking all the money. All of it. You know, you're not supporting your game. You're not advancing your game. Like, they roll out a new release and it's like, great, we've got 3 new flowers and angry bunnies, and, you know, they're bragging about not charging for DLC. Right, because it wouldn't sell. You know, like, the improvements you make in your game are very, very small. There's bouncy slime and flowers and bunnies, and I can't even think of much else. There are other things, but
sounds fun.
It's what's fun in Minecraft is what the server owners are doing when they take that Minecraft, use it as a platform, and then start like there's Minecraft games that look like Titanfall, and you know, we just did our Skywars thing today. If you're a WoodyCraft fan, we updated Skywars. Now we have like team-based Skywars instead of free for all, and it's pretty cool. Check it out. But yeah, whenever I hear how little staff they have, I remember how huge their profits are. You know, Call of Duty has like 400 people working on it, and they sell $1 billion. Minecraft sells $1 billion, and they have 8 people working on it. That's not something that you're supposed to get like applause for. Hire some people.
I had no idea there were that few people.
It's really small.
So
it's under 20.
They were just taking all the profit.
Yes, yeah. And then, so a lot of people will say this is ridiculous. Server owners are making lots of money. And it's true. I'm doing great because my server's fucking amazing. But we're not making nearly what they are. And these guys are like, they sell foam picks for more than real picks. They need to chill on their money whoring accusations. They're ridiculous. I've got like $500 worth of stuffed animals from Minecraft that says that they make money too. So anyway, Microsoft is buying Minecraft, and maybe, and I don't blame Notch one bit. What's that?
They just shut it down and ruin it. Everything, just copyright, just torn down, and they say, "Play a better game, everyone." Is what should happen.
Minecraft
Kyle,
is a better
you've
game
never
than
played,
you know.
really, have you?
What's that?
I've played a couple of times, like maybe two or 3 hours total.
Dude, Minecraft is good. You have no idea. There's redstone in Minecraft that takes like a freaking engineering degree to understand what people do in this game. They've taken like what you think
can do math too.
You're so funny.
Yeah, that's just keeping up.
So you're probably familiar with Minecraft at a high level on like the survival thing, right? Where you build a house. We have factions on WoodyCraft. Lots of people do, and but our factions is better. With a faction, it's like instead of just surviving and doing whatever, you can claim land. And then because I've claimed it, you can't break blocks. So then you have to build like cannons that launch TNT across the sky at my base. And then you go in my base and you steal all my stuff. And we fight each other. And if a person dies too often, they lose power, which means they can't keep their claimed land. So you can go in there and like even break the blocks in my base. And you can break chests and create creepers. And it's basically survival, which is normal Minecraft, but gang-based survival, where the whole object is to kill other people and steal their stuff. And it's cool. And then there are mini games like Skywars and Spleef and survival games. There's one like Hunger Games. We did a PKA Let's Play on it. Everyone starts in their little block, and you can either run to the middle and risk it and try to get like swords and armor, or you can run out to the edges of the forest and get your stuff. And the object, of course, like Hunger Games, is to be the last man standing. It's pretty fun.
That does sound pretty cool.
I didn't love Minecraft before I knew about it, just like you. I sort of graded it on the graphics and called it, silly cartoon kids game or whatever. Dude, when you get in the level of expertise that people have, the cannons, I'm really impressed by like what the Minecraft community has done with what I think is a pretty basic game. With regular survival Minecraft, it's okay, I guess. But Factions is amazing. The mini games are amazing. The creative. It's really actually pretty cool if you get into it. So that's the truth behind Minecraft. It's what server owners have done in taking that base game, and the developers really deserve the credit. But in taking that base game and turning it into something more is pretty cool. And it'll be interesting to see what happens under the Minecraft or the Microsoft regime. Well,
maybe I'll hop on WoodyCraft.
I'll hook you up with a rank. But what was I gonna say? The Microsoft thing. It can go either way. Because in my opinion, the multiplayer community, the server owners, the developers, stuff like that, we have been the actual research and development arm behind Minecraft for years now, right? It's not survival that's keeping this game alive. It's the mini games like I talked about, the macro games. There's one called Prison we have where you have to like mine, collect money, and buy your way to freedom. But like I can kill you. Okay, you can grow drugs in the prison world. And then, but where you sell drugs is dangerous. So you can die in the drug selling area. So you might want to buy protection from a gang, like maybe give them a stack of marijuana so that they watch your back while you sell all your pot. And then I can like betray you, or maybe you don't buy protection and I kill you and sell all your drugs and take the money on my own. Like this kind of stuff. And you can like buy shanks and like one-hit kill people when you think that they have lots of drugs and then sell their drugs on your own. And all these games that have been created that turn Minecraft into more than just the basic game you download is what has kept Minecraft relevant. Will Microsoft decide to keep letting the community use it as a platform to build on top of, or will they decide that they're best at this and shut down everyone but themselves? I don't know.
We'll see. I think Microsoft seems to make decisions that make them money, so maybe something in between. Maybe something where they give you guys have to buy a license or pay a fee or something to do that with their game. Who knows?
They don't want to make less money. So
right.
Like they want to monetize what you're doing, but they don't want to do it. So it would seem like a good idea just to have you pay them a fee to do what you want to do and use their shit.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting, right?
That's a middle ground that you would think both sides like. Don't exterminate us, make us part of the team.
Yeah, that was the approach that I personally took with Minecraft. Like for me, it's like, can we find a win-win here, right? Clearly, you guys are selling games because people like us are improving it all the time. If all they had was the thing that they download, this game would have died. But Mojang's not really a win-win style company. They're and I think it's because they're so successful. Like they've got so much money that they don't really care about anyone's opinion, or they can do whatever they want. They're selling it for $2 billion, for heaven's sakes. That's $2 billion is huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Notch is an ugly guy too, so it's good he's got all that money.
I think he got divorced after he got rich.
Who would have thought that would happen?
It's
an ugly guy. I don't even know what he looks like. Kyle's it. I like his hat.
He
Makes
always
him look like a
wears
public masturbator.
Public masturbator.
Yeah,
so
he got divorced. It's I don't know, but I have to imagine that the whirlwind of fame and money adds pressures to your life when from the outside it looks like it's just pleasure.
So, no, Woody, it's all easy. Let's judge him. Judge him for it.
What were you saying, Kyle?
Oh, I was gonna do some survival talk.
Okay.
So there's a few places that I've been considering doing this thing in. I think like a wildlife management area would be good because you can camp and hunt in those places, and they usually have slightly different hunting rules. Like their seasons will be expanded or deflated, I suppose, by a day or two here and there versus what the regular hunting season is for people on private land and such. But for the most part, it's just a place you can go hunting that's like state land. And I'm looking for one that's big enough so that the fact that it's going to be hunting season won't really bother us. So that we can get way off in the woods and there just won't be any hunters near us, like a place where hunters don't go. Like deer hunters specifically.
Tomorrow I go to get my hunter's license.
Great.
No, I don't need a gun for that, do I? I don't need to bring anything. It's total like a test, right?
Yeah. In my experience, I sat in like a classroom environment, guy with a marker board. It was very much like school.
Mm-hmm.
And then they passed out a test at the end, and I don't know, 20, 25 questions. I didn't miss any. Mostly it was common sense stuff, but there was also like a couple of questions, but the answers to them were hammered into your head repeatedly, like how many square inches of orange you have to wear. I think it's 400. I could be wrong. I was 12, but they like over and over that number. So when it comes on the test, you're like, yeah, I got that. It's that kind of test.
I took an online version of the hunter's test, which I think means I take a simplified in-person version, and I'm getting that done tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. I hope
that'll be good. Then you'll be licensed, and
yeah. Now under Georgia, did you say we could be under your license or something if you're from out of state?
I think you had to be a kid or something for that to work. But it's not going to matter. Like if you've got your hunter safety thing, then you can just get a license.
Right. I'm mildly worried about the delay. Like
what delay?
I thought there was one that tomorrow I would pass and then all right, 3 weeks, expect it in the mail. But I'm not sure.
Oh, really? They usually hand it to you.
Oh, that would be ideal.
That in my case, they were just like, here you go, get that laminated. There's an online database. That's how I got it recently is I went to like GeorgiaHunterRegistry.com and put in I just put in I think it's like your name and some social security information or something, plus like a password that you probably don't remember, or I did at least, and I just printed it out. So you'll have it instantly. And I'll check, but I think an out-of-state license isn't a big deal in Georgia.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I would expect, like, if you got it when you were 12 and you had it instantly and there was an online database, then here in 2014, they must really have their act together by now, right?
I hope so.
So
I'm wondering, I'm wondering, like, what kind of trip it's going to be. Like I need to check let's see what the hunting season is for squirrel. I know we've done this before, but like it's that time again. Let's find out what time of the year we can shoot squirrel.
I want deer. I have this notion that one of us will kill a deer, and then we won't even be hungry. We'll have big fat meals, right?
You can gain some more weight on that trip. Like 11 pounds of venison.
You don't even make it sound
That would
good.
be a grueling way.
Squirrel season here begins August 15th and goes until February.
So it's already season. You can kill squirrels a lot.
Yeah,
I thought squirrels were just kind of shoot them when you feel like it. Didn't know there were seasons.
There are.
Yeah, we found that out too.
Yeah. So squirrel is a thing, and I was telling Chiz earlier, we need to find an area that has hardwood trees in it, not pines or cedar, because that's what supports fucking ecosystems. Like the squirrels need to eat acorns and pecans and stuff like that, and they're not eating pine cones. So we need to get into some hardwoods because the stuff that eats the squirrels will be there, rabbits will be there, and deer will be there. Deer like acorns too. And we could shoot a deer, I guess, but that would mean we would have to bring, something more like this along with us, like something to shoot a deer. I guess there's a lot of. I mean, I got some all-purpose type guns. I've got a 22 upper for my AR-15 I could bring that would turn this to a 22 in 30 seconds. But
yeah, I'm not sure what I want to bring. I could bring that survival gun, but I'm not. For people who know nothing about shooting, there are a lot of people who talk about which guns are accurate and which guns aren't. I'm interested in Kyle's opinion in this. In my opinion, most guns are really accurate. Some guns I'm just better with than others. Like that survival rifle I had, it has, I think it's called a ghost sight. Can you think of a COD gun that has the same one? Is it a SCAR maybe has it?
The M14 from Call of Duty 4.
Didn't that have like a V with a line in it?
Oh, the SCAR from Modern Warfare 2 had it.
Yeah, that's where I was headed. And for me, like most sites involve like lining up 3 things and then the bullet goes right where the middle one is, and I have an easy time with that. A ghost sight is a circle with a line, and the object is to put the tip of that line in the middle of an open space, which just feels imprecise to me. And
plus the tip, like your front side is too big and it's orange, and your back side is too plastic and not round enough, and it's hard to shoot.
Yeah, I'm sure the gun, like if you had it in a vise, would hit roughly the same hole twice.
Like you could put all the bullets at a quarter at 25 or 30 yards, no problem. But
like the point of the gun is that it all goes into the butt of it and makes it easy to travel and waterproof and stuff. Like I could think about getting like a 10-22 takedown, and that might be a nice like small rifle. Or maybe I'll just bring something bigger, like a.
We were talking about like guns like that single shot I had the other day. The Remington Speedmaster is a semi-automatic 22 that you could knock the sights off of and have a smooth barrel on. And we used to use stuff out of the air because it's semi-auto and you could just get multiple shots and stuff.
Or would a shotgun be nice too? Suddenly I feel like I can hit anything with a shotgun.
Oh, well, I feel like it kind of takes all the sport out of it.
It's a survival thing. That's
well, if you take a shotgun, then you're really well armed then.
That's kind of what you want, right?
Yeah, you're not
really
unselling it.
I don't know. You tell me.
Buddy.
You
want to go into
bring
this
a shotgun
prepared and ready?
Here.
See what he comes back with. Because I feel like with a shotgun I can hit, and then like my big question was like, would it just destroy a squirrel to the point where you don't eat it anymore? I don't think so. I'll probably just be hit by like 2 pellets, and You're golden.
Yeah, you're not gonna shoot it with buckshot or a slug. You're not trying to incinerate, just vaporize it.
What would you shoot it with? Birdshot?
Or just put a bunch of nails in the barrel, fire that.
Yeah, I was
Shotguns
actually
can do
thinking
that, right?
birdshot or buckshot, like one of those two, and just like one of the pellets will hit it and it'll be done for.
Yeah.
What is Kyle coming back with? What do you have here?
So if we're gonna do shotguns, we should have to do like tactical shotguns. It should have to be something more like this.
Look at that thing.
How about we all have to use one of those really shitty ones that you said you hated more than anything?
Oh,
That'd be a challenge.
yeah. Hang on. Or we could use.
Wow, that feels heavy. Just watching him lift it.
Yeah, this looks like an
Oh,
ordeal.
I know that one.
Ah, that one's terrible in Call of Duty as well.
It's interesting. So, does it hold 16 rounds?
Yeah.
So each one of those tubes holds 4 rounds, and then you shoot 4, you spin it 90 degrees, and you shoot 4 more, and it's a 16-round shotgun.
It's like a lot of ways for it to just go wrong and not fire well.
It's true. I've watched Kyle shoot it a lot, and like sometimes what will happen is he'll shoot 2 rounds and the third one doesn't go. But he's just like,
after I lubed it up, it ran good. This one actually works really well. This one, I've seen others that work shitty, but this one I'm proud of. I trust this one mostly.
Kyle, like I've watched Kyle shoot it when it runs well but not perfect, and he's really good at it. Like it doesn't shoot. He just kind of like. He slaps it, does it, cocks it, or I don't know exactly what the sequence is, but he just gets the next shells to advance, and in a heartbeat, it's shooting again. But to a regular person, well, I don't know, they might be like putting it between their legs, banging it, looking down the not the barrel, but the thing that holds the rounds.
Stressful. Like, just...
What is this one he has? It seems to have some sort of, like, COD 3 camo. Oh, he's shot paint with that. What is that? Which one's that?
This is the UTS 15.
So if you rack the slide 3 times, will it break?
Hope not.
It might. That's the one.
It's a very peculiar weapon. I haven't played with it in quite a while, so forgive me if I'm kind of not that smooth with it. But basically, trying to figure out what the best. Maybe if I just point it right at you. So
the danger.
You've got a tube here and a tube here, and you put your shotguns in here, and you've got it's kind of spring loaded, and so you've got a row of shotgun shells up through this entire area in there on both sides, and you can see it's open on over here too. So both of these doors are full of shells. And when you do that, then the spring-loaded thingy comes down that feeds the shells.
And can you pick which side? So you could put like slugs in one and buck in the other, or bird
This
versus...
is one of the major design flaws. Is this right here is made of plastic, and that's what chooses which is which. Left side or right side chooses the feed. And then the rest of it, it's kind of... It's just clunky. A lot of plastic in there. Looks really fucking cool though, right? Like,
it sounds like a Nerf gun if I like close my eyes and listen to it, racking back and forth.
I like that it's painted.
Oh, me too.
Like I think that's cool. Like, I don't know, that gun's seen some shit.
Oh, you're damn right it has. It's like scope was mounted.
Yeah.
see the cleanest pat.
But
yeah, we should have to take a shotgun like that, a real piece of shit.
Well, I only have one, so I'll just have to bum one of your 50 shotguns.
Yeah, I've got 3 like that here.
I've got a pistol grip shotgun that's hard to aim.
I want a sawed-off double barrel, but one of those comically short ones, like where the shell's almost sticking out the end.
That's what I'm putting together, I think.
I'm gonna make one of those.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Woody's gonna have a pump that's about this long. I think is what he's talking about. I'm gonna try. Hopefully, my suppressors come through in time, and I'll bring something suppressed. I don't know, maybe a .22 rifle, or I don't know. It depends where we go. If we're in a spot where I think we might be able to kill a deer, then I'm not sure what I might bring. I've got a lot of options. I got a lot of options for deer. 300 blackout. I've got 6.8 ARs. I've got 5.56 ARs. 300 blackout ARs. I've got 300 blackout bolt guns.
I don't know any of them.
Anything.
Yeah, Kyle can't name all his guns.
Yeah, but it's just a case of like what would be cool to like take on the trip. That would really be one that I wouldn't mind throwing in the mud. I've got a few like that, and two that would get the job done and be fun to use. I think it might be I don't know. Maybe a couple.
We'll think about it. And you thinking we're going October? That's what I've been thinking lately too. Maybe the start of October.
Yeah, I think if we do that, then I'll definitely have my silencers then, which I really want to include on the trip somehow. Like I'll have a shotgun silencer, here in my vault. I'll have 22 stuff. I'll have everything. So I can, and I may even have a Chris Vector that I could bring. That'd be a cool fucking gun to take. Use that. But I want to come up with something. Realistically, I'll probably bring some kind of 22 suppressed rifle, unless I think that we could kill deer. And then in that case, I may just I've got a really, really lightweight 300 blackout rifle I might bring.
I'm pretty sure we can kill deer.
Well, I mean, if there's deer in the area that we're going to be in, is what I mean.
They're that hard to find?
Yeah.
Because you made it sound like you'd kill them on the way home from school for sport.
No, well, remember I didn't go to school then. I was homeschooled then, so I was hunting every morning and every night. That's how I killed so many. Like we hunted every day, twice a day, for hours. It's hard.
Yeah, as I've walked in the woods quite a bit, and it was rare and sort of exciting and happy when I ever saw a deer.
Yeah.
The idea that I would see one like, all right, I'm gonna go look for deer for the next 2 or 3 hours and succeed at that. Like, no, I would see a deer once a week.
You basically find their path, and they've got a pretty well-defined path, and then you set a deer stand up that's kind of an ambush for that, and you wait there every morning and every evening until you catch them crossing between, to go feed, and then you kill them.
Yeah, it's a lot of doing nothing.
A lot of
for
doing
a
nothing.
while.
So Taylor, are you a hunter? Are you an experienced hunter?
I've gone deer hunting before, never got one. I was probably like 13, 12 or 13 at the time. But since then I've gone, dove hunting, pheasant, quail, quite a bit of bird hunting.
Do you think were you good at it?
I mean, it's a lot easier when you're just shooting a shotgun into a big flock of doves. But I was all right at pheasant, that kind of thing. Pretty easy.
I'm
not nearly as hard as deer, I wouldn't think.
As I said earlier, like that, I'm just getting my hunting license now. I don't have any. I can usually hit what I'm aiming at if it's standing still. Like I've shot a lot of rounds, but I'm not a hunter. There's a difference.
Jackrabbit hunting is fun. Can you just shoot them, like anytime? Maybe
There'll be a season. Let me see when rabbit season is here.
Those things, when my grandpa told me when I was little we were going rabbit hunting, I pictured like the cute little I didn't want to go because I thought it was going to look like the Petco rabbit. No, these are disgusting monsters with gnarly, gross teeth. Jackrabbits are just nasty. Disease-ridden.
So not good.
Or at least
eating.
the one that I shot right in the face with a shotgun looked, pretty messed up.
November 15th, yeah, to February 28th. We can hunt those too. Oh, November. Excuse me. Unless you want to use a bow. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
I have no interest in using a bow. Not if my life's depending on it. I'd rather use a shotgun.
Yeah, if my life's literally depending on it, I want a shotgun.
Deer season doesn't open in Georgia with rifles until October 18th. It starts on October 11th through the 17th with primitive weapons, which is black powder, and then I think I got a couple of black powder rifles, like modern-esque ones, but then archery season is before then. Starts in September.
Maybe October 18th that's our target date.
That's a good day to get shot.
It's a good day to die.
Yeah, that shouldn't be our target date.
I'll take your advice on that then. You pick our target date.
It may be honestly, So killing and preparing a deer is a real thing anyway. Like, I've witnessed it, but I've never cleaned a deer, and I don't want to. I think it's very smelly. There's a pile of guts about this fucking big, and it sucks. And I don't.
First
wanna
we
do
kill
it
the deer,
personally.
then we kill the bear we attract.
But one of the cool things about going sometime between October 1st and October 18th is that it's much safer because people do get shot in the woods mistaken for deer, and we're going to be in the woods during, where people hunt. I don't think anybody's going to shoot us with a bow and arrow. I don't think anybody's going to shoot us with a black power rifle because not that many people even do it. I've done it before, but not many do. And,
That'd be even worse almost to get hit by an arrow standing in the middle of the woods. Just
you just be like, why? You're right there. Like, what the fuck?
So I guess I shouldn't wear my antler horn helmet.
Damn it.
I'm gonna wear my fur coat and my deer hat.
Just thought I'd wear my fur coat to stay warm on the survival trip. I shot 4 times.
My brown warm coat.
And my antler hat. My fur
antler
coat.
So yeah, I think this thing could be cool. Taylor, if there's any way that you could work it in, I think that's our target date. Somewhere in October. I'm thinking right now, like, probably the 8th through the 12th or something like that. Just rough, random numbers in my head. But I think it's gonna be. We could make it any days of the week. That's really flexible.
Yeah, I'd obviously like to. Just, I'll have to see what I can do.
Yeah, I know. Just gotta see what you gotta do with work. But I think this would be good. I think I don't want to go too well armed. I want it to be a survival. I really don't. Like, I don't want it to be. I think squirrel. I'd be happy living on squirrel and maybe a rabbit.
I would be thrilled to live on those things, but we didn't even see one.
That's what I was talking. See, that's why you've got me down. That's why I'd like to do it near me, so that, like, tomorrow, for example, I can go scout out a location. I think I'll just, like, go hop in the truck and drive to one of these WMAs and, like, drive out in the woods and walk around with my .22 rifle and maybe see if I can kill some squirrels. And, like, report back, like, yeah, I got fucking 3. This place will work.
I hear where you're coming from. That sounds nice. It's hard from. How far is it from you?
There's a bunch of them. There's one that's like 30 minutes, one that's like 20 minutes, one that's an hour. There's lots of them. I've got to do some research. I want to find one, like I said, so that we can really get in there deep, away from people, and not have to worry about explaining what we're doing to anyone.
I like that too.
Yeah, I just feel like we're gonna look ridiculous anyway out there, like in our, like, I don't know how many of us there's gonna be, or like how long we're gonna be out there, but I'm just imagining some weird scenario, like day 4, like me and Joe Lozon and Woody and fucking Chiz out there just looking like shit, just like Chiz is vomiting and we're all like covered in mud and dirty, and we've got guns with silencers on them and a pile of dead squirrels, and I'm just like, who are you people? What are you like?
A pile of dead squirrel bones.
You know what?
Joe's over there just like gnawing on a squirrel head or something.
I'm thinking
Joe's gonna need so many fucking squirrels to maintain his gains. He's gonna need to like have the call. He's gonna have.
Hey, don't be messing with my squirrel heads.
Yeah.
We need to be close enough to the trucks that I can carry a car battery to the campsite, or I want to be able to use cameras without worrying about the recharge. I know you could get those little pocket batteries that recharge your phone 3 times. Screw that, man. That'll get me through a day. I want to bring a car battery and like hook up a cigarette lighter thing to it so I can recharge all week without concern. I feel like if I have that, then we've got the power we need to film it properly.
Let's skip the bullshit and just get an RV. Just
that's the other thing. We're looking. What we want to do with the survival trip is document it well, and we're looking at ways to do that. It's easy for someone to say use that Patreon money to hire a cameraman. Cameramen are very expensive, like so expensive that like once you like add up the money, you're like, well, I don't even want to do this thing anymore. Like this thing is fun, but for like $5,000 for paying a cameraman $5,000 to film and edit, like we could have a lot more fun and get more out of it. So we're trying to find a scenario where we've got a semi-professional cameraman who's going to be there, and his job is going to be able to film this thing and get it done right, so that not just that they're videos, but that they're well lit videos that look good and are well edited as well. And it's going to be we're working on it, I guess. There's a few options we could go with to get that done. I'm just not sure what we're going to do.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, we had one guy, I should reply to him, but he's from Europe, and he had a really attractive offer, but he's from Europe, and I feel like it'd be so expensive to bring him over here and set him up, and he even offered to do it for free, but just bringing a guy in from Europe and putting him in a hotel room and flying him back and forth, and
you're right back there to like $4 or $5 grand.
Yeah, and the Patreon is less money than people think. Like, they see the number on the front.
Yeah,
dude, we get about half that, a little more than half of that by the time.
Yeah, then we split it up and shit and pay for things.
Yeah, and there's a significant amount of people, especially the big donators, like the $1,000 ones, who are using like fake cards that don't pay and stuff like that. So, yeah, the Patreon's I like the big number. I think it looks cool, but it's not what we get. So don't get it all twisted. Yeah. So I'll say this: we've still never taken a withdrawal from it. Like, there's not enough money in the bank account that we're like, we could take some out and still cover all the expenses for the next adventure. No,
Yeah.
It's not like that.
No, it's still paying for things.
Yeah.
I think this trip's going to be good. I guess I'm not sure what kind of supplies I need, what things I need to buy. I guess there's a few minor little things, but I guess I'm going to need a decent sleeping bag, sort of a medium temperature one.
Or warm, yeah.
What do you think about, well, I guess if you're going to bring that car battery, then there's really no need, but I had a lot of interest in that stove that you found that burned wood and made electricity in the woods.
I'm just not sure I trust it. And, I would like to have multiple cameras that I can sit there and run for like let's say, for example, we're starting a fire and that's tricky to do, right? So we just let it run for 15, 20 minutes or so and pick the best footage out of that to use. Heck, remember that shotgun fail video I did recently?
Mm-hmm.
You can only do stuff like that, just like let it keep running when you don't worry about battery life. And that little charger thing that has like one USB port.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting that could be our only source of power to charge all of our things. I just thought it was cool.
Okay, well then I agree with everything you just said. It is cool, but I suspect it's like a get your phone working again in a pinch type thing, and not a awesome power solution for a team of guys recording themselves.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, if we could just get a car battery out there, I think like there's hardly any amount of cameras that can drain it.
The thing about picking a place that's like, within driving distance of my house, and I know everything is, but within distance that I would be happy bringing a trailer. I mean, I could bring an ATV and like to get our shit there. Like if we had like something like that needed to be carried, or there could even be one there as an emergency thing. Like if we got to drag Chiz back out, half unconscious or something.
Just tie it to his feet and drag him out of the woods like a deer.
Shredder. Yeah, we'll take the fucking shredder. It's got a hookup in the back for a little trailer.
That's funny. Then maybe that'd be the thing. I don't know.
I might bring the shredder. Machine guns and everything. The people listening don't know what a shredder is, but they will soon.
Yeah. So the survival trip should be cool. I've heard your feedback on some of the guys really liked the shooting videos, right? They were kind of fast-paced, edited, color-corrected, etc. But you pretty much at the release of the whitewater rafting one, they really wanted to hear like dialogue-based videos like we did on the first trip. And there's a couple things people I think just didn't understand. If you do a water-based thing, it's hard to make that dialogue-based. Like, just waterproof cameras don't have great mics on them. That's the scoop. And maybe that impacts the next time I get a great idea to do like an undersea adventure. Like, well, keep in mind that doesn't film well, So whitewater rafting in hindsight was a less than great idea because you can't really talk to each other and such.
Yeah.
It won't pick
and
it up.
those were, for everyone's information, those were Class 4, Class 5 rapids. We agreed that they look weak, and we said all along they look weak.
Yeah.
It's so funny how that goes. The whole time we knew what they were. We were like, these are some medium-sized rapids. They don't look that dangerous. And everybody's like, oh no, these are death. These are death incarnate. And then we do it, and we show them the video, and they're like, these are easy rabbits. These aren't death. You guys are dumb. And we're just like, what are you fucking doing? You guys are some real assholes, the people who come up with stuff like that. Because we said all along that it's, there's some medium rapids. And it says Class 4, Class 5. They are. I guess when there's more water, maybe. But
I don't even know.
Or less water.
It's funny, so you guys didn't, sadly, my GoPro stopped filming towards the end of the whitewater rafting. And all the good rapids were at the very start, like when Chiz fell out, and at the very end, which you didn't see.
So I've got that footage.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get that out. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I hadn't seen the good rapids.
Remember at the very end, like how it was only recording for like 7 seconds at a time?
I do.
When I took those off the camera, that all of those recordings were like non-functional. Like you couldn't drop them, you couldn't play them with anything. Premiere didn't recognize them, etc. So they had the start one and then a bunch of the middle ones, which were kind of weak. And the ones at the end didn't film, and they were kind of good. And you'd look back on them and you'd be like, hey, look, that's a 5 or 6 foot straight down drop. But I'll warn you, you haven't seen them yet. We did it really well. It wasn't because we were awesome. It was because our guide had like 11 years experience, and he'd tell us exactly what he needed us to do. And we'd take 5, 6 foot vertical drops like it was nothing. And that's how they went. But you'll see him when Kyle puts his footage together.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'll be more tedious with or that's not the word. I'll be more
meticulous. What are you going for?
Studious?
Adamant.
I'll get to work.
I just keep playing the synonym game. Come on. Woody, throw another one out here and I'll get some hands.
Motivated. He'll be more.
That's a word, right? Studious.
It is, but it's someone who studies well.
Yeah.
Well, but what are you going for?
Done.
You'll get on the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on the ball. I'll get those done.
Gonna get on the ball. Gonna get motivated. Gonna get titillated.
Yeah, I'll get those done. I've got all that footage. I don't have the clip of Chiz falling out, unfortunately. Somehow I don't have that.
Mine wasn't. Of course, the camera was on top of my head, so it wasn't pointed as well as I wish it was.
Yeah, I wanted to see him eat it hard.
I
really did. That would have been funny. Just to
yes.
see him fall so hard right off the bat.
That's what happened.
After riding a bus for 2 days. That's what you should do for the camera guy over in England or wherever. Tell him you'll bring him out here, but make him ride on an old-timey wooden boat for like 2 months. Put him
came over on the Santa Maria.
Yeah, a big barrel of spices and ship over here.
So you're gonna hop on a bus at Plymouth Rock.
You're gonna go down to the port of the East India Trading Company and just hop in the biggest barrel you can find.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Very uncomfortable.
What was I gonna say? But the survival trip should lend itself to some really cool, maybe some hunting videos, but definitely some like dialogue survival videos, which you guys like, and we're gonna bring in Joe. Hopefully Taylor can make it. And then who knows? I don't know. Like I could imagine a situation where I get there a day early or something and do some shoots with Kyle. I don't know. We'll work it out. So, but that one should lead to a lot of good videos. And that's one of the things that Patreon has done for us. Like, we haven't missed an episode, not one. We haven't missed a Painkiller nearly, not one. I know there were bumps in the last hangout. We'll get that sorted. But like suddenly, because people are paying for this content, it feels extra important to me that we deliver it. So we haven't missed any shows or anything. It's gonna happen someday, so forgive us. But
and we bought Mercadurk like a slave.
Yes. Exactly.
You want to call a show there?
Yep.
Okay. We have to do the. Don't we do some sort of wrap up on the SquareSpace thing? They get an end of show ad. I don't know.
Yes.
So
SquareSpace.
Well, they're getting one.
Fucking buy it.
SquareSpace, the best. No, I think SquareSpace is going to help seriously if we do this bug fighting website. A couple of features in particular seem to make a lot of sense for that, and I think it's going to be a cool thing. I'm glad we thought of that at the same time because that's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
If you guys are interested, SquareSpace will give you a free year I'll put directions in the description of this video, but essentially you tweet at them with the right hashtag that'll enter your Squarespace website into a contest, and you might get a free year from them if you win. I'm guessing that how many entries can there be in this thing? Like 15, 25? Like your odds
Can't be all that many.
pretty, because it's a high effort thing to put together. Someone's gonna have to actually do something. It's more than sending a tweet. You have to make a website too, and so your odds of winning are pretty good. If you're thinking about doing anything, you need a site that goes.
I should mock up the Japanese bug fighting website.
I bet that website could win.
I think we shouldn't
really
enter.
Give your all.
But I do think that if we were to we could totally win that thing. It would be cool.
And it's not Japanese bug fighting, just bug fighting.
Bug
Or
fighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
What if we just called it racist bug fighting, and then we had all kinds
International bug fighting.
I'm really tied to the racist thing. Just like racial stereotype bug
Squarespace will
fighting.
love that.
Politically incorrect bug fighting.
International bug fighting. Interspecies bug fighting. Well, that's kind of implied
IBFC,
for having a bunch of
International
the same
Bug Fighting
fucking bugs.
Championship.
Oh, good. Yep.
IBFC.
IBFC.
There's going to be a belt, like a tiny little belt that a tarantula can wear.
Oh, I am not putting a belt on a tarantula. You're alone on that, my friend.
You better hope it's a tarantula, not a sun spider. You end up with that
Are you talking about a camel spider?
necrotizing thumb.
Are you talking about a camel spider?
I just fight the bugs. I don't know what they are.
He is with bug names as I am with people names.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we'll wrap
All
it
right.
here. Squarespace.com. Just fucking buy it.
Only
Good night, guys.
pedophiles don't like Squarespace, so take that to heart.
There it is.